Good morning, Tradeify Nation, and welcome to another edition of Tradeify TV. It is Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. It is 60 minutes before the New York Open, which means it's time for us to get you ready for your trading day. We've got to my left here, to the right on your screen, we have my good friend Swiss Nick. That sounds like a really cool rapper name, Nick. I think we need to. I think that's you know, MC Swiss Nick. That sounds sick right there.
I'll take it. But also, I mean, for the last 2 days, the two trades I took, I top ticked them. So maybe top tick Nick would be a good name as well. But yeah, good morning, everybody.
Nick, stop. Remember, we're YouTube's trading streamers. We're never supposed to tell people that we lose, right?
Yeah, no.
In fact, even when you do a losing trade, you're supposed to go on Twitter and pose next to a car that's not yours.
Don't worry about it. I didn't lose. I just top ticked, and then when it went down, I just added more and more until I was in profit. So
okay,
don't worry about it.
Which one of your 20 accounts was that on?
All of them. Well, no, good morning, everybody. Good to be back. Good to see everybody in the chat. I see the regulars commenting. I see Yasir, I see Leah, I see other people in here as well who are regulars. So welcome back. And of course, good morning to the one and only Matcha Mommy.
What's up, guys? Good morning, Tradeify Nation. We are so excited for you guys to join us today. We have a lot packed in for you today. If you don't know me, my name is Miriam. I go by the Curly Trader as well, so if you guys follow me on there. Welcome back. If this is your not your first time here, welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome. Like I said, we're super excited for you guys to be here bright and early. I am in the West Coast. If you guys are joining from the West Coast, y'all know how early it is. So very, very happy that you guys are joining us bright and early wherever you are. If it is evening, that is great too. Like I said, we have a packed day for you guys today. We were kind of shooting the shit before our stream here, and it was funny because we were talking about how often Nick uses the bathroom on the stream. So you know, he's constantly in and out, and we called him a fish before this, and then we kind of started thinking, like, do fish drink water? Does this happen? I mean, so anyways, we got into it, but if you guys notice Nick leaving, just call him Fish Nick. And
wow, we're just calling him out right now.
Yeah, thanks for that. But actually, now I do want to know, chat. Do you know? Let's do a little quiz here. Do you think fish do drink water or do they not drink water? Put it in the chat. I know it. I will let you know in a sec, but I want to hear from you guys.
This is a new record. 5 minutes into the stream, and it goes straight to shit. That's just...
we had to do it.
Gonna poll. Let's go.
We had to do it. But we got a really exciting episode for you guys today. Like I said, you know, we have Coach Tank coming on later today.
Tank?
You guys really don't want to miss this.
No.
It's gonna be one hell of a session. You know, if you guys don't know who Coach Tank is, he is our psychology coach. He talks about, you know, he's worked with just so many different types of people, from the retail traders to the hedge fund managers, you know, and actually non-traders as well. So regular folk, he's worked with everyone in between, and he's just going to be such a great person to ask questions to. We're obviously going to be asking him our own questions, so that's going to be later on. So make sure you are on the stream today. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you are not notified already, click that notification button, and let's get into it. Matt, take us away.
All right, so guys, we're going to jump right into the 4 hours. Before we get started, though, I do want to share a little bit of a sad note. So last night, the cat that I've popped up a couple times on stream, we had to say goodbye to her. So trading with a little bit of a heavy heart today. And, you know, I've known her the time I've been with my fiance. My fiance had her for almost 20 years. So very, very, very long time. So we're definitely, you know, just thinking of Minnie today. She was a sassy. You would have loved her, Miriam. She was a sassy little queen. But yeah, we said goodbye last night. It was nice, peaceful, and she doesn't have to deal with her brain issue anymore. So that's nice as well. But the show must go on, guys, and we still have to trade. So I will tell you though, and I feel like one of the things that I don't feel goes on in other places on the streams is, you know, just to let you guys know. I mean, listen, we have our personal lives. We're not airing a whole lot on here other than calling Nick out for a bunch of bathroom breaks, apparently. But any little things like this affect us on a day-to-day basis, guys. This is something I'm eager to get into with Coach Tank today. We have life changes, or even just small things. Maybe you know one of your kids is homesick from school or something like that. We have these little disruptions to what happens day to day, moment to moment, and we have to decide. Okay, is it one of those days where we just need to not trade? I feel good enough to trade this morning, and I'm going to be very selective of anything I take. And this just again comes from go back to our first guest, Rips, that talks about knowing yourself as a trader, knowing what things set you off and make you revenge trade, knowing what things make you not follow your rules. So I'm going to try to be very cognizant of that today and be very deliberate in my trading. But yeah, so that's we always share little things like that just to let you guys know we're a little bit of humans. Again, I know we're YouTubers. We're supposed to be everything is cool all the time, bro. Like unironically, bro, at the end of every other sentence or something like that. But no, we're the show must go on, and so we will take a look at our 4-hour chart here on the ES, guys. So on the ES, guys, we've got Miriam, this is kind of your setup here, isn't it? I know this is a 4-hour chart, but we've got a nice, very solid trend line that basically takes us back to early May. This is a very strong macro trend line. Do you look at stuff like this on a 4-hour, Miriam?
It's actually crazy that you just mentioned that. I have the same exact trend line on my chart. So this is something that I love to see. And I don't want to take away from what you were about to say, but yes, I love what you have so far.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And thank you, by the way, thank you for all the kind words in the chat. I really appreciate that, guys. But yeah, I'm just worried about taking care of the girl today. So we'll thankfully this show doesn't go 8 or 9 hours, so I'll be able to do that in a little bit here. But yeah, to the upside, I think here 59.56 area at the top of this candle from yesterday. It's going to be an area to watch for a breakout. And obviously, as Miriam just said, she has the same trend line. I'm sure it probably pops up very well on the 1 hour as well if I pull this up. Yeah, what a shock. It absolutely does. So boy, do we have a big macro trend line that we're going to be paying attention to as this show progresses, guys. So the NQ, referred to both as Satan's mistress and the monkey on meth for the way that it treats us from time to time. Boy, it's been a long time, guys, since I've seen we had this big zones of consolidation back in February and a little bit of March. It's been a while since we've had a zone this tight on the NQ. And yeah, we broke out a little below it, broke out a little bit above it, but we're basically between 29,550 and 21,108 is a very, very tight consolidation window there. And looks like at the open, we're going to be knocking on the top of that again. GC continues to be a great trader in a breakout mode here as we push above this trend line. I'm looking for a little bit of consolidation here, but I feel like especially if the markets pull back a little bit today, if we have some random 200-point drop at the open, like the 100 plus point random pop we had yesterday, we could see gold be a nice player into the afternoon. And oil continues to be pretty choppy. Oil is a tough one to trade, guys. I don't know if you guys have traded oil a lot. I haven't done it as much in the last year or so, but that's something that I really want to expand back into that, just because the indexes seem to be trading in lockstep. Is that something you guys trade at all?
I've never traded oil. I can't actually speak to trading oil. I've been strictly NASDAQ. I'm actually a much newer futures trader. But it is something that I hear a lot of people trading or have traded in the past. But maybe you guys might convince me to trade it. I don't know. Yeah,
well, Matt has to convince you, because I'm a NASDAQ trader and nothing else. I said it in the intro video where we introduced ourselves as the hosts. Like NASDAQ and NASDAQ only. That's it. Not even ES. I look at ES, but I trade only NASDAQ.
Yeah, absolutely. And last but not least, my second favorite index, the Russell. 2080 is kind of a breakout level if we can get above the high of this candle. So I'm going to be watching that 10 to 2 Eastern candle, the high volume candle for the day. That could really set. I feel like today, Nick and Miriam, is a day where we're going to really kind of set up the next 2 or 3 days. That doesn't mean there won't be some good action today, but I feel like we're kind of right in an inflection point in a lot of our longer term charts that could set up multi-day movements heading into the weekend.
Yeah, honestly, I expect that we're not going to see too big of a move in the next couple of days until we have NFP on Friday. because that's usually how it is. But yeah, let's see what we get. Actually, looking at my chart really quick, if we can switch to that. On the 15-minute chart is what I'm looking at right now, Matt. I stressed it yesterday and I said it the day before, and I'm going to say this not the day before, that was Sunday, but last week. I'm going to say this all the time. Like today again at 3 a.m., 3:15, and then 4:15, we bounced off of the previous week mid. So this level is so important for me. And here's the issue that I have with it. If we're going to break this trend line that both of you guys have drawn, and I drew this too now, if we're going to break it, that level is like right there. So I'm not sure if we break down. I would really love to see a lot of volume to go into a short, but let's see if that happens. Or then obviously a breakout on the top through yesterday's high at 21,577. But yeah, that's the stuff that I'm looking at right now. Miriam, is there anything else besides the trend line you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I was also looking at. You guys mentioned the trend lines. You guys mentioned the levels that we're looking at on the NASDAQ too. Right now I'm kind of having a hard time looking at my charts, to be honest, but we are still in yesterday's range, right? Like yesterday's high, we had this push into the 580 level, right, on NASDAQ. And this is kind of what I look at, right? When I'm looking at pre-market, I'm looking at the previous day range. What type of range are we looking at? So I would like to see for longs to hold above this 580 level, 572. And then, the next level that I see is really not until the 570s, or I'm sorry, the 730s. So we have room to the mid 700s if we can hold and sustain this 575, 580 level. So that's what I'm going to be looking for to the upside. Now, of course, to the downside, we have a few trend lines. This is the 1 hour chart that I'm looking at on the NASDAQ. ES has a similar sort of setup here. That going to ES, of course, if everyone trades ES, those levels that I'm going to be looking for on ES are going to be the 550s, mid 550s, or I'm sorry, the 950s, and then the 960s. So I'd be looking for longs to sustain. Now we do have the 600 level or 6,000 level on ES that we do still need to clear and hold above. We did try to attempt, doing that on Wednesday last week. Couldn't quite clear it, right? We hit up into that level, couldn't quite clear it, but we do want to see ES also push into that. The reason why I look at both futures, they share a lot of the same stocks. I like to see confluence between the two. So, if ES is kind of struggling at this level and I'm in NASDAQ, I'm gonna be watching ES in conjunction with NASDAQ. So those similar levels are gonna be right there at the NASDAQ is gonna be that 750 mark. ES is gonna be that 6,000 mark. For the downside, of course, we do have these nice trend lines to the downside. So something that I will be looking for to break is going to be this 1 hour trend line that I have. This is the first trend line that you see, the top one, and then the bottom one is going to be a 4 hour time frame. So higher frame trend lines tend to be a lot stronger. So, if we go down to the 5 minute, of course, you can find a 5 minute trend line as well. But those are going to be the levels that I'm looking at. I want to see this 400 level break on the NASDAQ, for us to see more continuation. We have room down to about 300 or so. So that's going to be what I'm going to be looking at for us to break. And that's going to be pre-market low that I'm looking at. So 400 for the downside, and then that 580 level for the upside.
Nice, solid. On a less serious note, the poll has ended for do fish drink water? Here's the thing, guys. It was a trick question because some fish do, like the freshwater fish. Now, actually, the freshwater fish does not actively drink water, but the saltwater fish does. And there was a legend in the chat, Miss Trades. She actually knew. She said the answer is yes and no, depends if it's saltwater or freshwater fish. So
Nice.
virtual high five for mistrades. And for people that just joined in, don't worry, it was a silly question. It's nothing serious.
I love
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a way to just try to fuck with our viewers first thing in the morning, man. Especially the West Coasters, man. They're I know Miriam shows up on this stream every day ready to go and all that, but I if it were me on the West Coast, I'd barely be rubbing the sleep out of my eyes at at 5:47. So yeah, way to mess with everybody. I see Yasir's in a nice short. Congrats, Yasir. Make sure you pay yourself, which it's first target hits, paying yourself on the way down. Way to execute, my friend. Well done. Hey guys, if you're first time tuning in to Tradeify TV, if you could give us a first time in the chat, just first time, either with the number 1 ST or type out first and let us know so we can greet you. To all our regulars, we appreciate you being here as always. Make sure you we'll put our socials in the chat later, but make sure you follow us on social. Make sure you follow Tradeify. Make sure you're part of the Tradeify Discord. And as we continue to build out this community, we're definitely looking forward to having more people like you guys, the ones that come in here and brings positivity every day as part of our daily stream. All right, guys, so we are a little under 45 minutes to the New York Open. The NQ hovering right at the +1 standard deviation. Nick, as you brought up, and I put these levels on my chart today at your recommendation, we bounced right off the previous week's mid here at about 320, 330 Eastern. So is that a level you look at a lot?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like previous week, low, mid, and high points are so strong. Like every single time I open the chart and I see a strong bounce, it's from one of these levels. It's crazy. It's something I have discovered when I started using this indicator. I'm gonna repeat it again. It's a free indicator on TradingView. It's called Spaceman BTC Key Levels, and it's so useful because you can obviously turn off certain levels, you can turn on certain levels. But for me, I look at the daily open, the yearly open, quarterly open, monthly open, and then obviously the previous week mid, low, and high points, and has been very valuable for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Show Me the VWAP is here for the first time. Welcome, 8K, first time UK trader. You got another European there, Nick.
There we go. Welcome.
I love that.
He's coming for Coach Tank. Coach Tank is from the UK too. So you're gonna really enjoy this. You're gonna feel right at home here.
All right.
Actually, I also see that we're currently sitting at 282 viewers. We're obviously gonna get that up once market opens. But also make sure everybody of you 282. But the stream has currently we're sitting at let me refresh this. Sitting at 69 likes. Nice. Can we actually increase that number and get it to 279 because that's the amount of viewers in here? So please smash that like button right now because that helps us grow the stream, and that in return makes Brett Simba, our CEO, feel very generous and do a lot of nice giveaways. So make sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and be active in the chat because we are here for you guys. We're not doing this for us, right? We could trade on our own, but we're doing this for you, so you get a ton of value. You get to basically interact with us, 3 full-time traders. You get to interact with guests that we bring on. You get to ask us questions. Like this stream, this chat, everything that you have here is free and it's for you. So make sure you actually use it. And we're happy if you leave a like and a subscribe, obviously.
And to Molov in the chat there, man, this is our 8th show. Pump the brakes. Let us get up and running, man. Guys, this is, like I said, I've said many times, I'm going to continue to say early on in the show that we appreciate every single person that's here every day. And we're trying to build something a little different here, guys. And that's going to be a lot more apparent as we do more shows, bring on more guests, continue to expand our offerings and what we're doing. So guys, for those of you that are quite frankly, going against the grain, being here, we appreciate having you. And as I said, those of you that are here every day, and the names we're always recognizing, when, not if, when we're pulling in more viewers than anybody else out there, we're definitely going to be remembering you guys that were here with us from the beginning. But yeah, it's our 8th show, guys. Calm down. We're still, we were talking, here's an interesting thing to get into, I think, a little bit, guys, as we get ready into the open. And Miriam, we were talking about this in our, I like what you said, the shoot the shit session that we have usually in the 20 minutes before the stream goes live. So this has been a huge, I don't even want to say disruption, a destruction of my morning routine. Love doing the show, love working with you guys. It's going to be great for me, like trading, all of this. But I've had the same routine for like 6.5 years, almost every single morning, at least that I'm trading. And this has been a huge disruption. I find myself having to like mentally adjust in terms of what I'm looking at. If I was to get into any one of my setups, 6 weeks ago, I know exactly where I'm looking. I know exactly, okay, it's, eyes here, I see, oh, check this. Okay, confirmation into the trade, set my stop loss, et cetera, et cetera. Like I don't even remember I'm looking half the time. And it's very, again, I'm fine doing it. We'll get to a point where comfortable, but the morning disruption is something that again, I'm really taking some time to get used to.
Yeah, no, it's very true. I mean, it's something that, I'm a creature of habit, and I can be spontaneous. I can do, things that require little effort and little planning. But, for me, when it comes to my trading, I like to be structured. I'm not someone who listens to music. I don't, I don't talk to people usually when I'm trading. So it very much is a different environment that we're in. And so, that's something to kind of keep in mind too, as we're talking to you guys and, going over our setups. This is also this might be a new sort of session for you guys too. You might not have been used to tuning in to a stream, or maybe one that isn't as great as ours. But we do appreciate you guys being obviously patient and understanding of that process with us, because like I said yesterday, we're all going through our own stuff. I mean, we don't typically talk about our deep rooted personal stuff on here, but everyone's going through something, right? And that's part of the psychology of it. Is at the end of the day, we're all human, we're all doing our best, and we want to show up for you guys the best way that we can. And so it does help us with you guys being present with us and just telling us, giving us feedback, of course, but rocking with us, right? And like I said, this is a new adjustment. It's only been our eighth episode, so we'll be rocking on with you until we feel like you guys get the value. We hope you guys get the value out of this. We're all from different areas of the world. I know Nick is like 9 hours ahead of me, so
That's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's just wild. But like I said, we really love that you guys are here with us and supporting us, and just giving us your feedback and showing the love. And it's always something we look at, and it puts a smile on our face.
Yeah. Also, I'm observing the chat here, guys. If you want to ask us questions, feel free, go for it. I actually see some questions here that I would like to answer. First of all, somebody's asking, when we're trading live on stream, what type of account we're trading. We're trading Tradeify live accounts. Then TradeHawk, actually, that's a question for you, Matt.
Yeah, I see that, and I appreciate that question, TradeHawk. Says we're looking to build a little something different. How are we going to be different from
Exactly
other companies? Keep in mind, guys, first of all, like we are now in an attention ecosystem, right? Like, so we're competing, quite frankly, with other prop firms. We're also competing with a lot of other streamers out there. And guys, there's a ton of great knowledge out there. I'm not here's one thing you're not going to, are we going to have a little fun? Are we going to take our shots from time to time? Sure. Are we going to sit here and obsess over other individuals? No, that's not what we do, because that's not what we tell you to do, right? Like, I understand it's somebody who just, as part of being here with Tradeify, got a little more active on Twitter again and some socials. Like, the amount of negativity out there for traders right now is really tough. Like, anybody, I don't care if you're, you stream to 20 people or you just trade your own account and post about it. You've got, 50 people in your mentions calling you anything, and everything. And there's a ton of negativity, and that's tough. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, we're going to be all hearts and rainbows and it's going to be positive. No, this is trading. There are negative things and negative emotions that need to get dealt with. But one of the things that we're going to do, guys, that is going to be different is we're never going to shy away from telling you how difficult this business is. Don't get me wrong. The time frame to being profitable in trading is as short as it's ever been with companies like Tradeify that, if you prove you can handle some capital, we'll give you some to trade and give you a very large cut of it, right? But in all honesty, guys, it's we're looking to build organically. We're going to build across multiple platforms. We're going to be talking about that later in the show as well. Eventually syncing up kind of, with the Discord, and just, again, really putting together a community that really serves the traders as opposed to serve somebody's ego. And I'm not going to say anything negative about any of the other companies out, prop firms that are streaming. They have their niche. We have ours. But in all honesty, guys, we just want to keep zoned in on our trading. Yeah, we're sharing, as Miriam said, we'll share a few small details of our lives here or there, just so to tell you how we process those. But at the end of the day, guys, all I can promise you is authenticity, and all I can promise you is you're gonna get our damnedest every single day to help you become a trader. It's not about how much money we do or don't make, or about our egos. It's about us serving you as a community and helping you get there. And I can tell you personally, because I had the conversation with him, that Brett shares our vision. The team up and down shares our vision. And guys, I'm dead serious. Be with us and be along for the ride, because we've got some outstanding things coming. Any of you that are enjoying the show now, you're going to enjoy it 10 times in 6 weeks, and in 8 weeks, and in 10 weeks, as we continue to build, we continue to get. And again, the way we do this show, guys, is going to hopefully, listen, we've already got a troll here or there. Things are going to happen. People are going to bring negativity. That's fine. But we are trying to build a program that appeals to the type of trader that's going to be successful and is going to be open-minded enough to join Tradeify and be a part of our community, both as a trader and as a daily viewer, and in the Discord as well. So that's how we're going to do things a little bit different. But we are going to, as much as it goes back to the old funny segment on Chappelle's show, we are going to keep it real with you guys and continue to do that. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that, but that was I'm sorry, a 10-minute response to a 2-minute question.
It's the classic Matt response.
No, it
It's
was
always
much needed, I think.
fully packed with value, but extended so that everybody understands it. I love it, Matt. Actually, everything you said on point. 100% agree.
No, I think you articulated that very well. I mean, we have so much packed for you guys. I mean, if you guys were here on the first day, right, you saw how much we gave away in giveaways, and we definitely have a lot in store for you. We had so many awesome guests last week. We're going to continue to have amazing guests this week, and so on and so forth. So it's just packed value, and it's all for free, right? It's all for free. You just have to show up and be here. So one of the
Go for it. I'll say it after.
I was just going to mention, we just posted a poll, our typical poll that we have in the mornings. Go ahead and answer that, guys. What is your market outlook looking like today? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you think we're going to go sideways? Go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say, somebody asked if Matt is in England. No, he's not. He's in the US. But you guess who is from England? Coach Tank, who we're going to bring on today. Later, I think it's at 10:30, right? Am I right on that?
I
think
believe
10:30.
Yeah,
Maybe-
10:30.
Yeah, 10:30 EST. And he's going to come on, and he's actually the coach of our live traders at Tradeify. And that's another thing. Like, you get so many things here for free, because Coach Tank is coaching our live traders literally for free. And again, obviously the stream is free. Almost everything is free here. You get a journal, you get a dashboard, you get everything that you need as a trader. And as Matt said, right now is literally the easiest time to get started as a trader. Well, minus the market conditions and Trump tariff news. But besides that, speaking from an account perspective and access to capital, it's right now is definitely the easiest time.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I got a question for you, Nick. So I'm looking at the chart with this nice little tool that you recommended, and so we are approaching the daily open, and a little bit above that is Monday high. So how are you going to? What are you looking at as we get to those levels?
Well, for me right now, if we go to my chart really quick, we see a very nice zone basically in between those. Right, we have if we draw this out here. Between the high and the daily open, that is the zone I'm looking at. And now the question obviously becomes, are we just gonna, peek into that zone and then break down? Or are we gonna grab some liquidity up here and break down? Or are we just gonna completely smash it like we did yesterday with a 200-point ripper right from the open? But it's something that I definitely look at, and once price goes into that zone, I wanna see how it reacts to it, right? And that is when I start making my decisions. Because if we go into it and break down, that's when I start to look for shorts. But if we just rip it, then obviously I'm going to start looking for longs, especially since Miriam said it very nicely before. We have a lot of room to the upside. If we go to the 1 hour charts here, if we rip this, right, we have room practically up to to the 21,760 levels on NASDAQ, maybe 750. So there would be some nice long opportunities.
Yeah,
and I think this is one of those days, because I see the poll up there. What are we looking at here? So the majority bullish, bull team in the house. I will say this though, I could sit here and we're above VWAP. We're looking like we're heading up towards 1.5 to +2 standard deviations, daily open. But I honestly think I could make a really compelling case for a pullback if we move just a little bit higher. I'm not saying that I am right now, and I'm not saying that I'm looking to go short at any particular level. I don't know. Maybe yesterday's open just kind of fucked with my head a little bit, but a random no news 150 point pop in the NQ really kind of disoriented me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It was we see moves like that all the time, that a company that news or pre-market data or something like that. There wasn't the only data was ISM-PMI, but that was 30 minutes after the open, and we talked about it on stream. You can go back and watch us, and we. Of course, we're not going to chase moves because, like I said, bad habits work just enough to keep you doing them. But that was something that again, and one of my mentors used to say to me, if you just don't have a fucking clue what's going on, you need to just watch for a little while, right? And so that was kind of my reaction to that yesterday. I mean, congrats to those that followed a system and a setup and made money. But yeah, that I will say that when the first 10 to 15 minutes of the market is kind of wild like that, it does throw me off a little bit, and I sort of need to recenter before we get into it.
Yeah, that was something that we kind of talked through that as we were on the stream yesterday. And I remember thinking to myself, and I think I said it out loud a few times too, don't chase this, guys. Don't chase this move. I know it seems tempting. I know some of us did end up chasing it anyway. But, these are the sort of days where, like Matt said, you just kind of have to let the market settle and do its thing. Because if you guys obviously were here on the stream yesterday, or even just watched the market in general, you saw how quickly we took out that whole move. Of course, we rebounded the rest of the day, but it's just one of those where you don't want to chase it, because God forbid you do, right? You chase it right at the top and you just top tick it, right? And then at that moment, you are sweating because you get this massive move back down to the downside.
You're giving Nick PTSD right now when you say top tick.
Yeah, I'm actually freaking out here. Top tick Nick is back.
I noticed like a single one of his hairs went out of place. That's how I know he was messed up.
No, we if you guys weren't here yesterday, we kind of made a little joke about Nick getting into a trade and literally top ticking it. So if you guys hear that,
I think Miriam, you didn't even hear what I said to Matt before. I think it was before you even came on. I actually top ticked almost the exact same trade today again.
Oh, no.
So I deserve the top tick Nick nickname. So
top tick Nick, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you don't want to chase a trade ever, right? It could work out for you in that moment, right? You could have, if you chased it yesterday and made money, that worked out for you in that moment. It doesn't mean it's going to work out every single time. That is not the way to be consistent as a trader. You're chasing every single move that pumps, right? But you have to realize that, like, there are certain times for your setup and there are certain times that it doesn't work out, and that's okay. If something runs without you, there will be another opportunity. And so, like I said, that whole move got taken out. So if you weren't careful and you ended up getting into that trade because you had FOMO, because you didn't want to lose out on a potential opportunity of making money, then you definitely lost money, and you might have been spiraling yesterday, which we never want to put ourselves in that position. So
the thing is, the way I view it, when you chase a trade, it always depends, right? Let's say market rips 200 points. If it does something that fits your setup and your system while it does that, go for it, because then you know where your stop is going to be, where your target is going to be. The only problem, at least that's how it was for me for a very long time, the only problem comes up when you just enter a trade because you see prices moving fast, but it does not fit your system. And that is when you enter, and immediately after you enter, you're like, oh fuck, where am I going to put my stop? And where am I going to get out, right? And that is when it starts to become a gamble. And that is when you usually top tick, and then it rips down. And the problem is, well, now you're down, let's say 40 points, 50 points, and you start getting emotional, and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to exit this because this is just a retracement and it's going to continue higher. but then it doesn't, and it goes further and further and further, and then you're really fucked. So as long as you do have a setup in a 200, 300, 400 point ripper, I mean, go for it, but it has to be a setup.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get through the chat real quickly here. Somebody said non-farm is tomorrow. Non-farm's Friday. It's first Friday of the month, so non-farm will be on Friday. So I don't know that we start really until probably after lunch on Thursday if the price action tightens up. Again, markets are paying very much attention to anything now that involves inflation or economic health, because that leads directly to interest rates, et cetera, et cetera. So we get a little closer to the next Fed meeting, we'll start pulling up the Fed Watch tool that I like to look at on the CME's website. Gives us percentages and breakdowns for various moves. I still don't think we're anticipating a rate cut anytime soon. But again, every meeting we go without a rate cut continues to set up what is an inevitable showdown between Chairman Powell and President Trump. So whatever happens out of that is going to happen. I think what was the latest ruling is he doesn't have authority to fire the chair of the Fed, but that doesn't seem to matter to him. So we'll see what happens as the weeks progress. That any sort of like strong showdown or attempted firing of Powell could really send us into some volatile times. And of course, it's going to happen when we're in a trade in the middle of the fucking day, because that just seems to be how things go now. Also want to say, I know a couple of you guys waiting for the giveaways. If you're waiting on PayPal, and I can verify this because this happened to me a few years ago as well. I don't think Tradeify uses their PayPal too much. And then when you start using it, a bunch of activity, they lock it up for a couple of weeks just to make sure you're not, sending through millions of dollars to, I don't know, wherever, someplace that the government doesn't want the money to go, right? So stay tuned with that. They got your emails. I think there is the ability to go through Rise if you have an account there as well. So make sure you reach out either through support or again, make sure your email in your description matches one that's on your Tradeify account. TopTick is a great nickname. Actually, guys, TopTick sounds like one of those, like TopTick Trading sounds like one of those scam firms that pops up overnight. And like it's got like like an AI spokesman and like offers like $30 accounts for like 6 hours and then shuts down, right? And you find out it's some little dude in the middle of wherever, right? That just ran away with tens of thousands of dollars.
Poor Nick is just getting like shredded today.
Roasted here. Oh man.
It's your turn, Nick. It'll be my turn soon enough. Just wait.
I'll just stay quiet and let my trading speak for myself, and then let's see if I deserve the name or not. Well. But yeah, speaking of the giveaway money, Matt, it was PayPal was not expecting that Tradeify TV would come on and would start giving away $10,000 in cash within the first 2 days. I mean, who does that, right? PayPal was like, who the fuck are these guys? Block them. No,
okay,
but
I gotta say,
guys. Don't worry about
this comment in the chat from Silent NW. I just came across my wife's Tinder profile and I'm so angry about her lies. She's not fun to be around. I have no idea the context of that, but I just laughed at it. So
it's so funny, Matt. I can literally be in the chat, and whenever, like, I have you right next to the chat, and whenever I see you smiling, I don't know why, but I know exactly what comment you looked at.
Yeah, we haven't quite gotten all of my twisted sense of humor out of this show yet, but I have a feeling it'll
guys, I'm actually maybe looking at a little pre-market scalp here with very, very low, like very small size, 5 MNQ. Okay. But this looks like a nice bull flag. I don't like that daily open is right here, and I don't like that with the 575 level, yesterday's high. But it does look pretty nice. I'm not going to lie about it.
Ooh, are we going to get a trade in before the open? Mm-hmm. We're about 20 minutes away, guys, by the way. We do have some news also coming out at 10 a.m. today. So be careful and be mindful of that. That is something we had yesterday as well. So if you guys are going to be getting into a trade, either wait until after the news is over, or get your trades done before that. You don't want to be caught in a news candle. That's always, I think that happened yesterday. I think.
Yeah, it did. But that's why we got the red line here. Don't forget the red line on the charts. Yep. And by the way, that setup just invalidated itself, so I'm not going to take anything.
So you're saying you would have gotten in at the top tick?
If I would have gotten in, that would have been a top tick, of course. No, but what I'm always looking for is in bull flags, at least, right? I'm looking for a breakout candle, and if it's pre-market, I wait for a 1 minute candle close outside of the bull flag, and once it closes, I enter. But if it doesn't close outside, I don't enter. And we had this little 1 minute here at 9:10, peak out of the bull flag, but then retrace right away. So I'm not going to take this.
Got a great question there from Leah there, or Leia, excuse me, Leia. And so I'll kick that over to you guys. When in drawdown, do you lower your risk, or do you just stick to the same mechanical risk for all trades until you bust or get back in profit?
That's a great question. So for me, I'm pretty well aware of like where my stops are at. For me, it's very rare for me to move my stop, and I'll admit it. Like, there are times where I'm like, maybe I should give this a little bit more room, and I'll move my stop when I'm in the trade. But if I'm in a drawdown, right, I've learned enough over the years that if I try to adjust that stop too often, more times than not, is what's going to happen is I'm going to get stopped out anyway, and I'm going to get stopped out for a worse trade, or a bigger loss. So for me, because my typical trading is more on a shorter time frame, which means I am not in my trades for a very long time, I understand, I'm under the very well impression that I can always re-enter, right? That for me, preserving my capital is way more important than trying to be right on a trade. Never try to be right on a trade, because the moment you try to do that with that mentality, you're going to get humbled, you're going to get stopped out just naturally. So for me, it's rare that I move my stop. I will typically keep it at what it is, because I understand that those are the levels that I trust are going to give me the best probability. So, and if they don't work, they don't work, and I reanalyze and I refocus, but never try to be right on a trade. And I think that's what happens when, you try to make your risk bigger. Now, if there are times though that I am in a trade and I will actually move my stop, to your point, lower my risk. So, I'm like, what, I don't know if I like this very much. I don't want to get trapped in this. Maybe it's an intuitive feeling that I have. But yeah, sometimes there are more times than not that if I do move my stop, I'm moving it to cover more of my position and lower my risk, if anything. But for the most part, I do stick to my plan, right? That is one thing that if you're going to be trading and build that confidence, you want to go into it with a plan, right? All right, what am I willing to risk on this? What is my reward on this? Typically for me, I typically don't like to lose more than 20 points. I think that's like my sweet spot. But there are times, and as we've seen in this market, where you do kind of have to have a bigger risk. And so, that might extend to 30, 40 points. But if I am doing that, I'm severely sizing down. So I'm not going in with my normal size. And so that's just something to consider on every single trade. You'll see me oftentimes I'll trade 25 micros, 10 micros. It depends, right? So it just it's one of those where you have to look at it case by case and decide for yourself, all right, what is the best scenario here? But always stick to your plan nonetheless.
Absolutely. We've started today with the chat is on fire today, man. We started today with a couple of wife's boyfriend jokes, and now we're getting Van Wilder references in the chat. It's a classic movie. If y'all didn't see it, it came out when I was in college, in one of the old National Lampoon movies. It's back when Ryan Reynolds was just a slight douchebag as opposed to a complete douchebag. So yeah, it's pretty funny. Kind of in the Animal House style and motif, as it were. Movies that maybe haven't aged the best, but are still funny when you've had a few cocktails. So we'll do Matt's movie reviews on a future episode of Tradeify TV. But for now,
there we go.
let's get back to the chart. So Nick, so your setup is invalidated. Are you looking at anything if we head back up towards the like the 550 level?
No. Right now I'm just waiting. I think until the open, unless there would be something coming. I just, as a reminder for everybody watching right now, I do trade the London session usually. So I'm up at 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. EST. Sounds crazier than it is, because for me that's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. But since it's like only 15 minutes until the market open, or like 14 minutes until US market open, very, very unlikely I'm going to trade anything, because we're likely just going to consolidate.
Absolutely. We got a great question from Raphael. Do you guys have daily, weekly, monthly profit goals? Being full-time traders, you just take what the market gives you? I'll let you guys take this one before I answer it.
For me, I do only have a daily loss limit, and everything else, I mean, if the market wants to give me more, I'm going to take it. I'm fine with that. It's like, if I see a setup, I take the setup. And if it's a loss, it's a loss. If it's a win, it's a win. But the only thing that really matters to me is my daily loss limit. Everything else is not limited.
Yeah, I don't set any sort of profit goals at all. For me, this has been such a game changer in my trading. And I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but the more you focus on the monetary outcome of your trading, the worse your trading actually starts to become. One of the things that I was a big options trader when I first started trading, and that was something that helped me actually become a more consistent trader, was not looking at my profits, was just purely sticking to my plan. And as you guys know, if you trade options, you know how volatile your profit and loss can be, or your P&L can be as you're trading. So for me, it was a psychological trigger to look at my profit and loss when I was trading options, and that has bled into my trading in futures. And so for me, I don't look at, oh, I'm up this much, I need to cut my trade. I look at, all right, is this congruent with my plan? Is this going to my take profit? A lot of times I don't even know how much I'm actually going to be typically making on that trade. I just know how much I'm going to be losing if I'm wrong. So that's always something I say to any new trader, is focus more so on the process. Don't focus on the profit, because if you focus on the process, the profits will always come. So always keep that in mind. Don't look at it from like, oh, I have to make $500 today, or I have to make $1,000 this week. Just worry about, did I stick to my plan? Did I execute on my trade? And I stuck to my plan. That's the number one thing that's going to keep you profitable actually as a trader. So
that's also why Tradeify has actually, or like why I think it's a great thing that Tradeify has removed the payout windows. Because when there's payout windows in a prop firm, you're always going to trade and like rush your trading to meet that payout window to finally get a payout, right? And that is when people usually blow up. And now you just have to trade 10 days in between payouts, and then you can take a payout whenever. So that is an additional thing that really helps, is do not think about, or like that helped me, do not think about trading in terms of, I need to make money by the end of the month. Because I don't really care if I get paid on the 5th or the 6th or the 7th or the 10th or the 15th or the 20th. Like, I don't give a fuck. As long as I make money, I make money, right? It's not a salary job at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I see somebody saying process over progress. I would change that to process over profits. Now, not that we're not chasing profits, that's what we're doing, right? But developing your day-to-day process. And to answer the question, I don't specifically have a daily profit target or daily loss limit personally. I do have a rule: if my first 2 trades are losers, I take 30 minutes off. If I come back and another one is, I'm done for the day. And that usually protects me because I keep my stops fairly tight. I'm not trying to take 4-figure losses on a ton of trades, right? But in all honesty, for newer traders, I listen, I know everyone complains about rules and evals. They could be the toughest or the easiest rules in the world. People are going to complain about them. I get that. I really like the rules that Tradeify has in terms of setting structure for newer traders and setting basic consistency rules. I think for your first 2 or 3 years of trading, you absolutely should have a daily profit target to protect yourself from yourself and daily loss limits. So I really think that's something for, again, until you maybe have, let's say, a year where 9 out of 12 months are green, or even more than that. Then maybe you want to get into a situation where you're like us, where you don't want to set yourself up for, to limit yourself to $1,000 profit day, because you may cost yourself a $2,500 profit day, right? And as long as you're trading well and executing, you just keep executing your setups. But at the same time, I don't think for experienced traders or for consistently profitable traders, having a profit target is important, but having some sort of structure on the downside just to keep yourself from spiraling into revenge trading is important. For me, it's like losing trades as opposed to a certain loss, because I know, again, if I have 3 losing trades in a row, yeah, I'll probably be sitting down 1,200, 1,500, but I'm not going to be sitting down 3,000 or 4,000. And to be honest, that over 3 is only happened a handful of times this year. So again, guys, that's just, I think it's one of those, your mileage may vary a little bit, but I do think having the structure that the firms and especially Tradeify provide as a newer trader, I think is very, very important because, guys, it's, again, Mark Douglas talks about this extensively. Most of us, and I know I was one of these people, are not ready for the true freedom that trading grants us and how we do our jobs, right? We don't have this, every job has structure. You have a boss or subordinates or all this. Trading is you. You are the CEO, the COO, the CFO. If you trade out of home and you clean your home like I do, you're the damn janitor too. So you every step of the way, and most of us aren't ready for that. So having some structure, we used to have to impose it on ourselves as traders, and let me tell you from personal experience, that shit don't work out so good, right? But now you've got some structure. You blow an eval, you're out anywhere from $50 to $200, depending, or a few hundred if you're in the Straits of Sim funded. That, trust me, even blowing 5 in the most expensive Tradeify accounts is a lot less than I blew when I first started 11 years ago. So yeah, I think having structure is very, very good, but you can loosen that up a little bit once you hit some consistently profitable goals. Or if you want to say, okay, once you withdraw a total of 50 grand, then maybe you can start getting a little more aggressive with your day-to-day trading. But yes, have some structure, have some routine, have some framework around the markets, because the markets, especially in futures that trade almost 24 hours a day, there is no structure or framework that the market provides us. We have to provide it ourselves.
Wow. Very well said. Can we actually smash the like button for that really quick? Because that was gold, Matt.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said, and I know we're going to open here in less than 10 minutes, but I like what you said about the job versus the you versus you. You don't have someone telling you to get up. You don't have someone telling you to put on a trade or lower your risk or any of that. It really comes down to how well you are coordinating with yourself, right? And so, and I say this a lot, but like trading is the best form of self-awareness and self-discovery that you can go through, because you really learn a lot about yourself through your trades, the way you execute, the way that you are disciplined, not just in your trading, but your outside life as well. So we are getting this push. Apparently when I talk a lot.
Always.
Keep talking, Miriam.
Always when you talk.
Put to the upside, but this was happening yesterday actually. But when I was talking about going short, but yeah, I just I love what you said there, and it's so important to remind ourselves that I think as new traders too, you guys have to be very, very careful about taking trading as like your main source of income if it's not something that you have been consistently profitable in for at least a year. Don't quit your job thinking because you just made a couple $1,000s in a couple weeks that now is the time to quit your job. No, absolutely always have something lined up in the background. Trading is a very difficult way to earn money, but it's very it's an uncapped, you have uncapped potential of earning money, of course, but you have to prove it to yourself, right? There are going to be days where you're not making money. There are going to be days where you lose money. So it's not as consistent as having a job. And I always say, just make sure you are in a place where you can afford to actually be a full-time trader. And that means proving to yourself that you are consistent.
Yeah. And I'm going to probably say this a lot in Tradeify TV streams. I love this phrase that I learned from a friend of mine, which is trading is the hardest easy money you will ever make. Like, can't stress this enough. Yes, you can make a lot of money, but it is hard to make it and it's hard to learn it. But Tradeify TV makes it simpler for you. Not easy, but simpler. So show up every day and smash the like button and subscribe.
I love how when Nick started talking, it just
Market realized top tick Nick is here.
So we've now developed the foolproof strategy, guys. So Miriam's going to talk for the next 5 minutes. We'll all go long, and then Nick will talk for 5 minutes. We'll all go short. I'm being sarcastic. I'm joking. This is not financial.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, we have officially cracked the code. All right, guys. Yeah, we are 5 minutes to the open. So everyone, get ready for the 200-point burst to the downside probably today, since I don't know, but yeah, I'm you know what, guys, yesterday aside, I'm waiting out at least the first 5 minutes, possibly the first 15. Let's get our ORP going. Let's see how we attack this daily open and yesterday's high. I do think if we break out above 550 with some strength, right? And sometimes that means volume, sometimes that just means conviction conviction in the movement, right? Regardless of that, if we break out, I think we got room up to about 600 or 650. Probably 630 would be the highest I think we might get based on some of the stuff I look at. But again, yesterday, if we do like we did yesterday, at least we'll have some entertainment. So, all right. So, is everybody ready for the Open? Let me know in the chat here, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. But is everybody ready for the New York Open here in about 4 minutes? Nick, are you ready?
Of course. 3 minutes.
Miriam, you ready?
17 seconds.
Never been more ready.
Okay. All right.
Let's see how today goes too, because we might need this psychology session afterwards. I mean, if we're, I think in general, just, going through our trades and talking about what we're looking at, it's good to kind of reflect on what we did and how we traded. So it'll be nice to kind of end the day with Coach Tank here. Yeah,
I think his visit is coming right on time, like, again, for the reasons we already discussed. But yeah, it's let's see what the Open has for us. We are now under 3 minutes, about 2 minutes and 35 seconds. 2 minutes 34 seconds. 2 minutes 33. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Give us the full countdown, please.
Yeah.
I would love a breakdown to the downside. I really would. Not again, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a perma bear and I love trading the downside. I see some good setups here for the downside. I do use VWAP as well on my charts. So I have this 5-minute trend line. 5 minutes is my sweet spot. So I am looking at this 480 level that I did kind of mention earlier, but we have this trend line on the 5-minute. We do have VWAP sitting here and it is a level. So that gives me 3 levels of confluence that I do like. The only thing I will say is this would be probably likely a quicker trade, especially if we are not getting the full, traction to kind of slice through this level here at 441. So that would be a nice about 35, 40-ish point trade to the downside with some minimal risk, in my opinion. So you could take this all the way down to pre-market. Well, we have pre-market low actually down here at 399. So 400 though is that level I will be looking at. I do want to see how we respect this 400 level, not just because it's a psychological level, but it has played a role in the past. So I do want to see if we can get down here, cross this trend line, break this second trend line. This is a 1 hour, I believe a 1 hour or 4 hour trend line. It is a strong trend line though. And then if we can actually break down below this 400, we have room down to the 340s. So that's what I'll be in the Open.
We have 50 seconds left until the Open.
All right, so a quick check of major news. Doesn't look like we have, we got Jolt's job openings today coming up in 30 minutes. I don't know. ISM PMI, services PMI tomorrow. And then, of course, we have non-farm and unemployment on Friday. But outside of that, I'll check, see if we have any Fed speakers here. That may be a point of notice. Yeah, Fed Cook and Fed Logan today and Fed Goolsby. So this is all mostly in the afternoon, guys, after lunch. A ton of Fed speakers. So if you follow that, then there's quite a bit for you.
10 seconds. We're open in 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ding, ding, motherfuckers. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Another push.
There's the zone touch now, in between yesterday's high and the daily open of today. It looks like we're going to get another 200-point ripper.
All right. Feels very reminiscent.
So much for top tick Nick.
Yeah, quick, Nick. Go long so I can short.
We are breaking yesterday's high here, broken at that 575 level. Let's see if bulls can sustain this.
590 to 600 is the first possible area of rejection, but again, it's not like we're operating with a lot of sense or rationality in these opening moves, huh? Yeah, ding ding. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that on a T-shirt too. So we got be a boat, not a barnacle, and we got ding ding, motherfucker.
Yeah, ding ding, motherfucker. I want that T-shirt, please.
Ding ding. Next level resistance is that 600 mark on NASDAQ. If you guys listen, I'm not even gonna. I shouldn't even ask if anyone chased this,
course
but
they
I'm
did.
assuming some people did. But that level is at 600 on Nasdaq that we are rejecting right now.
It's not as rippy as yesterday. That's for
Not
sure.
as rippy. Yeah, this was.
No,
It
and
was like
everyone who
a.
got long or got long right about before 600, expecting a breakout. They're blowing some evals right now.
People
Yeah,
are shorting in the chat. I see. Let's see what we get.
Mark, yeah. All right. Big rejection at 600, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That level was also on ES. We couldn't quite reach yesterday's high, unfortunately. Yesterday's high was sitting at 955. Not quite able to clear that. So we did get a rejection there as well.
It's nice to see a little bit of divergence of what we're seeing between the ES and the NQ. I realize they're always going to trade similarly, but when they're trading, not making highs at the same time, breaking down at different times, like when they're just trading in lockstep, we don't have two trading instruments. We have one. It's just how you want to play it. To see a little bit of divergence there is actually nice. I like that. Wow, what a reversal off those highs.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
Massive reversal.
Who got long at 590?
I
didn't.
No one...
Raise your hands. If anyone chased up at 590.
Well, if you had a TP at 595, you're good.
Oh, OG trade short at the top. Well done.
Nice.
There we go.
Very nice if you shorted that. We do have a level here at 21,530 on book maps that I see. So be mindful of that level. 530. It looks like some selling is kind of stepping in here. So we're clearing those orders at 530.
Yeah. Poked into it.
See what we get here. I'm still watching that trend line sitting at 493 area.
Oh, the one coming up from 4:15 a.m.
I'm on the 5-minute. I know you look at the 1 minute.
Yeah, but I mean the trend line is coming up from 4:15 a.m., right? That one. If we can go to your charts really quick, you can show it.
Oh yeah. So this is the trend line I'm looking at on the 5-minute. We have multiple touches here, which I do like to see on a trend line. So again, we have that level of confluence here at VWAP. We are still holding this 530 level though. Buyers are not done quite yet. They keep stepping into that 530. So just gonna watch to see that we actually get the move down below that for a continuation. Otherwise, we could try to hold here. We're holding yesterday's close so far.
Let's see.
Man, but these sellers still want to come in here. While we let the markets digest too, remember guys, we do have that news coming out at 10 a.m. So just be mindful of that. I know I said it earlier, but if anyone just joined the stream, that's something to watch out for.
It's interesting. The chat is 65% bullish on the poll, 17% bearish, and 18% sideways.
Oh.
So let's see where we go. What did you guys vote for, Miriam and Matt? I voted side vote.
I actually think we might be a little bearish today.
Oh, Baron Say is back.
So like 90 million of my fellow Americans, I didn't vote, but I'm going to complain about what happens no matter what.
That's great.
And actually, yeah. A good catch here from Vola Trades. She actually mentioned that the title of our stream is wrong. It says June 2nd. Background Nick, you got some work to do.
Ooh, background Nick.
It's June 3rd today.
Lil Nicky.
Thank you, Vola Trades, for calling that out.
We have so many nicknames going around. Honestly, I don't even think we call each other by our normal names.
What even is your name?
What's that?
What even is your name?
Exactly. I don't even know anymore.
All right. So it looks like we're still holding that level that you mentioned, Miriam.
Still holding, yeah. We got some buyers there. They are starting to, clear up a little bit more. Actually, they're completely gone from book maps now. Next level is going to be that 520 and then 515 area. We have some buyers also at 510. So I want to see actually 500 clear. And then I might consider getting into a short with an early entry, just kind of depending on where we're sitting.
Leah is actually in another trade. She's long on gold.
Very cool.
And Leia says her youngest is 6 months old today. So congratulations. Happy birthday to the little one. What's well, you didn't specify gender, so I'll just assume girl. What's her P&L?
We don't assume genders, we assume P&L.
We assume P&L. That's right, yeah.
I say profitable.
Leia's been killing it.
Mm-hmm.
She killed
Guys,
one yesterday.
we can just do this. Since we're still unsure how to pronounce it properly, let's just do it this way. I call her Leah and you guys call her Leia, and then we're for sure right sometimes.
I always said Leah, but I don't want to be calling anyone by their wrong name.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, maybe we need to just give Leia a nickname like we do with all of us.
Nice. Guys, by the way, we're just waiting right now for the 15-minute opening range to form. Again, that leaves us with about 15 minutes to then wait for the news. Maybe we will see a trade, maybe we won't. Right now, we're pretty much stuck at yesterday's close here. So let's just wait and be patient.
Yeah, we do have about less than 10 minutes here until the opening range. I kind of hope we stay in this little tight range. I don't want to get the move just yet. Honestly, I hope we don't make the move until data comes out.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, because the market's always listen to what we want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, the market doesn't seem to care, but...
Boy, that was a funky first candle. This second one here doesn't quite know what to do with itself. I lose my volume delta.
I see Mr. Simba in the chat too.
Oh shit, the party started now.
Oh, we're breaking down.
Getting some selling pressure come in here. I'm gonna watch this 500 level on NASDAQ.
Mm-hmm.
No follow through just yet.
Nope. Just consolidating for now. It's crazy how Brett is everywhere. It's insane. That guy doesn't sleep.
He's probably trading. He's in here. I know he's probably shit talking somebody on Twitter. So the man can multitask.
He really can.
Nice.
Guys, if you notice in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen as well, code June gets you 33% off. I believe that's all accounts. So if you're in need of another Tradeify account, hop on in there and grab one.
Nice.
Yep. Always the best code in the bottom right. Well, what are you looking at, Mary?
I'm laughing at Kimberly that said Brett Simba sounds like a great WWE wrestler's name.
Yeah, Kimberly, I saw earlier in the chat you said a former politician's wife. I'm assuming you mean former politician's wife rather than a politician's former wife. Those are two very different things. Because politicians, as I understand it, politicians go through spouses more than professional athletes. So
It's tough.
Oh, man. Oh, market is not picking a direction right now.
You guys are funny with your comments. And his name
I love our chat.
Brett Simba. That's how
I love our chat.
And the challenger weighing in at, I have no fucking idea what he weighs, from Miami, Florida. Give it up for the golden Brett Simba.
You bet. Yeah, he needs to get a Lucha Libre mask on the stream next.
Oh no, he's not putting anything on that hair.
Oh, that's right. He's got to cut off the top, and then then it'll work. All right, getting some buys here for me.
Pushing back up.
Massive buying.
And of course, like I'm just sitting there itching for a breakdown. Now it's gonna pop.
Right.
Yeah, Brett just said, and his signature move, the golden pocket. we gotta have Matt announce that. Matt has the movie trailer voice.
He's going to the top rope, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the golden pocket.
There we go. Actually, I got some news, guys. Because I see people asking for resets in the chat, and today,
ask and you shall receive.
Oh yeah, today when Coach Tank comes on, we're actually gonna go and give away free 50 free resets for advanced accounts, and we're gonna give away 30 free resets for growth accounts. So make sure that you stay on this stream because when Coach Tank comes on, we're gonna do another giveaway. It's 80 resets coming your way. So let's fucking go. Can we get a W in the chat for that, please?
Another one.
And so my challenge to the traders who receive those, you guys know whenever you guys get an account, and we've given away a ton since we started here, when there'll be a ton more coming, I challenge you to turn that into six figures in payouts over however long. Doesn't have to be in a month or any bullshit like that, but over 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year. So my challenge for you people that win the resets and use them, make it your last one.
Nice.
Well said. Well said. Couldn't agree more. We're actually 2 minutes and 20 seconds out of forming the full 50-minute opening range. But we're pumping hard right now.
Yeah, the buying is really stepping in. Aggressive buys.
Nothing like a V on the 15-minute, huh?
For real.
We're on the 5-minute chart here in the first 15. That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We got just under 2 minutes till the opening range is locked in. Oh boy!
Yeah, definitely
nothing
good
like
time.
an opening range that has like multiple buying tails and a gigantic selling tail.
Man,
Gotta love
this
it.
This feels the reverse. Not to the extent of yesterday, but we got this pop and then this drop, and now we're getting a pop again, and it's just a roller
Welcome to trading in 2025.
That's exactly it.
I say this a lot, guys, but be patient. Be patient. If the move doesn't happen in the morning, it might happen later in the day. So you don't have to force a trade and just get yourself whiplashed back and forth on this. Just wait for a setup.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of freedom, guys, in where like acknowledging. Again, we talked about this. Of all our guests, none of them trade like an insane amount of times, right? Like we don't have people, and I know their streamers are, and they do successfully, like trade like 50, 100 times in the first 2 or 3 hours, right? Scalping 2 or 3 points. It's people holding for bigger moves, right? I think Brian Stonk says he takes usually 1 trade during his afternoon stream. And there's a lot of freedom in that, guys, because there's a lot of opportunities per day, and some are really good, some aren't, some are A+. Like to sit back and when you're only taking 2 or 3 trade setups, it gives you the luxury of saying, you know what? This one just isn't quite there, right? When you're over trading, you feel the need, like you get that anxiety to get into trades in less than ideal circumstances. No, we don't control the market, but the market doesn't control us, right? The market cannot make us be in or out of a trade at any given time. So just don't stress or get anxious if you miss anything.
Yeah, there's always another day too.
I just heard that Gandalf is in a short. Looks like
I see that over on the ES there.
Yep.
Speaking of Gandalf, I understand we're going to be talking with him this week, aren't we?
We are.
Oh, yeah.
We are. We have some banger guests this week. We have
very mysterious Gandalf.
Yeah, we do. We have Coach Tank today. We have Gandalf tomorrow. We have Tanya Trades on Thursday. We're for sure going to show a little graphic here. Oh, actually now. There we go. But let's get right back to the charts so we don't miss anything. We have some banger guests this week. You're looking at Renko's right now, Matt. What are you looking for?
I am, yeah. See if we can get a little hitch and go here on the 3-minute. I would really like if we maybe pulled back a little bit from the 580 level. So pump up to 580, pull back over the next 3 minutes, maybe down to about 565 or so, and then I would take it on a break of the short-term high. Because I think if we do push over 580, we've got some room up to 600. It could take partial profits there. And then again, I think if we get back up towards 600, I think we could really break out above that. But again, that's my thesis. That's not definitive, but I also wouldn't want to trade against a wizard.
Well,
hey, Z-Zone Channel bought my first account today. Thank you guys for being raw and honest. That absolutely, man. Like that's what we do. I told you guys when you asked what was like, we're never going to be anything other than authentic with you guys. And end of story. So glad you're a part of the Tradeify Nation now. Welcome. There may be Tradeify Nation shirts or hats or something at some point. We'll get Brett on that. Actually, aren't there some whispers
he's already
of
working on
merch
it
coming pretty soon?
Yeah, sounds like he's working on it, so
okay,
be aware of that, guys.
Let's see.
Yeah, so far we are underneath yesterday's low, or I'm sorry, yesterday's high on the NASDAQ. So still respecting those levels here. The point is for me, in terms of upside, we got to see some conviction, not just above yesterday's high, but above this 600 level on the NASDAQ. Yes, that level is going to be 956. We haven't quite actually broken yesterday's high on ES, which is a little concerning for me. So if I am trying to go long, this is what I'm going to be looking for bulls to hold above. We got to break over those levels, and then that's when I'll look at possibly getting in on that trend.
All right, checking the chat here. Herman, what the fuck, man? Come on, dude. Like, what was your position size, Herman? I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. But no, I appreciate your honesty, first of all, because some people will never, like I said, people don't talk about their losses. So I do appreciate the honesty and bringing it in here. So let's chat with you for a second here, man. What was your position size on that? What were you trading? What was the position size? You don't have to tell me your entry or all that kind of stuff. But, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm talking to him for a second. You guys get in anything, just interrupt me.
No, good. Waiting for a bull flag breakout.
No, I mean, listen, guys, yeah, I said what the fuck, but like he came in here and was honest. So if he's open for it, I'll have an open conversation. 2NQ, but the trailing limit kills me. Don't blame the rules, man. Like I understand we want lax rules, right? Everybody does. I'm not blaming people for being upset about this or that, but like, don't blame the rules.
Yeah, and also Herman is saying 2NQ, but the trailing limit kills him. It's like get accounts that don't have a trailing drawdown, which we do have.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have a trailing drawdown, 2's a lot. I would go maybe 10 micros instead and scale out. I mean, that's just how I'd approach that. Your mileage, of course, may vary. But yeah, I would be, again, and if it's the trailing limit on a trade, that means, and if the trailing limit's following you up, you got to take some profit, man. Again, you do have to make some adjustments in your trading based on the rules of the eval that you're trading. And if you have a unrealized trailing drawdown, or even if it's realized, or whatever the case may be, understand that. And for unrealized trailing drawdowns, you have to take some profit. You have to scale out of your trades, in my opinion. I think that's the most effective way. So if I wouldn't advocate 2NQs, but if that's what you're doing, I'm seriously taking one off. Maybe, I mean, if you were ever in profit at like 15, 20 handles, I would seriously look at that.
Yeah. And also, somebody just said, Click just said, blew 10 accounts yesterday because I copy traded them all. Ha ha ha. It's like, okay, funny. I've been there, done that. Guilty. But ask yourself, what did you learn from this? What are you going to change? Are you going to copy trade another set of 10 accounts? Are you going to not do that anymore? Like, why did you blow them? Did you do something stupid? Did you follow your rules? Did you go against your rules? Like, what was it that you could learn from that experience? Because yes, it might be a little painful laugh, but at the end of the day, as long as you learn from it, it's probably something good for you long term. We actually just poked out of the 50-minute opening range here. I just saw.
Yeah.
Very briefly, if anybody that was on a tick trade on that,
not even 4 points. Literally, not even 4 points. If we look at my charts really quick, we can literally see the yellow box is the 50-minute opening range, and we poked out of it and immediately pulled back. So
I think just looking at the charts in general, though, I'm less worried about the 15-minute opening range if I'm a long or looking longs as I am 600.
Oh
600
wow!
And getting towards that area. Yeah, we just got swiped there. I'm sorry, anybody who was long there. Apologies, but we've been seeing more and more of that. That's I don't know what you saw on Bookmap there, Miriam. If they're supposed to be yanked in order, I got to get that back. Once I get my new computer, I'm going to get that set up again too.
You know, it's funny too, because I was kind of in the zone for a bit because I saw this pop into that 599 level, and I'm not gonna lie, this is not a typical trade I would take, but I wanted to short that so bad. I wanted to go short on that 599 level. I didn't quite get my entry, but that would have been a
Boy,
nice
a quick
scalp.
swipe, and then it gets right near the top of the candle again. Boy, this is wacky action to start the day.
Gotta love it. We have data coming out in 9 minutes too.
Yeah, we do.
Ooh, yeah.
So I saw sites that broke my copy trading rule of 2 accounts only. Well, there's your answer. You had a rule, which to me, that sounds like a pretty solid rule, and you broke it. So don't break your rules.
Which is easier said than done, to be fair.
Yeah.
But what, I don't know, like actually question for you guys, Matt and Mariam. When you stick to your rules or break your rules, is there something specific that you do? Like, for example, if you break your rules, do you punish yourself? If you stick to your rules, do you reward yourself with like a matcha, or like what's your process?
This is actually a good question. This is funny, and I'll say this real quick. I've kind of mentioned how on certain days, not on days that I break my rules, it's very rare for me to like really go on tilt and break my rules on that level. But I definitely don't reward myself when I break my rules. But if I did make a trade that ended up as a loser, right? But it was still me sticking to my plans, right? Because I always say too, you can have a great trade and lose money on, right? You can also have a really bad trade, or I'm sorry, you can have a good trade and lose money on. Yes, I said that right. But you can also have you can make money on a bad trade, right? So what I try to say is like on days that you lose money and you made a good trade, don't go treat yourself to something that will make you feel a little bit better. For me, I'm like, go to Chipotle, get the extra guac, go draw yourself a bubble bath if you're into that. Maybe make yourself an extra matcha, right? Go on an extra hot girl walk. For me, it's treating yourself on the days that you might feel a little bit more down because you did have a good trade, you just lost money. But on the contrary, I always also say on a really, really good day, right? If you made a great trade, you also made a lot of money. Those are not the days to go treat yourself to, the nice Louis bag or the Cartier bracelet or whatever it is, right? Like you have to take those days and actually do like the boring work. Go get an oil change. Go, run some errands. Go to the post, whatever it is that you have to do that's boring because you got your serotonin fix for the day. You made your money. You stuck to your plan. So those are not the days to go crazy. Those are the days to actually take it a little bit easier. But on the days that you are kind of struggling a little bit, definitely treat yourself. So that's kind of my little mantra. Yeah, buy a candy bar.
That's actually what I've told people the same thing. I said, when you make your first withdrawal, I mean, listen, a lot of people when they make their first withdrawal, they need to, pay some bills or you want to set a little aside, whatever. But yeah, go spend $5 on yourself, right? Go get a king size candy bar, or go get something sugary that you don't normally allow yourself, right? The other thing I want to say, guys, is we're kind of watching us approach back up to 600. Let's see if we head back up there. But I've often found, and I know this kind of sounds kind of counterintuitive, and it does suck and kind of sound sad a little bit. But guys, the people that seem to struggle in trading the most are the ones that need to be successful or feel they need to be successful, right? Like, how many times have we seen people say, I've seen unfortunately too many people say, I just spent my last $100 on an account or this or that. It's like, I need to get this to a payout. Honestly, guys, trading's hard enough. The more pressure you put on yourself, the people that are most successful in this business are typically those that have a main source of income. And I love what somebody said, and I apologize, I meant to catch up on it. I didn't see who said it, but when you first start trading, treat it as a side hustle, right? And try and make just a few extra $100 per week. Then you can make the transition to being a full-time trader. All right, so there we go. Ah, man, getting a little bit of a hitch and go on the charts here, but I don't like this right. I wanted an entrance closer to 580 because if we stall that at 600, I could take some profits or at least go risk out in the trade.
I'm sorry. I took a short, guys. I had to take it. My stop is very, very small.
Yes,
or short at 596 was my entry. 596 for a short. I might get stopped out of this if bulls try to come in, but I'm shooting for that 70 mark. My stop is actually 603. So I am not taking quite a huge risk on this, but we'll see what we get.
Nice.
I had to go for it. So I'm currently short at 596. Let me see if I can show you what I'm looking at here.
I think if you get below 580, you're home free. I think if we crack back below 580 in Monday's high, I think your 70 is going to be on deck very quickly.
Let me see. Sorry guys, we just set up our accounts the other day, so I did not get to add it in here, but let me see if I can. I'll be able to show you guys my entries once I get this in here.
And it's going to be updated.
Somebody said NVIDIA is ripping right now, so it could affect the NQ. We are going to, in the future, guys, be looking at especially some of the Mag 7 stocks on here and breaking down some technical analysis there as well, because of how much they influence the big boys.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of influence from the Mag 7. So especially on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is very tech heavy.
And we have data coming out in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Remember that?
I totally forgot about that. See, this is
that's why the red line on the screen. I can't stress it enough.
I know, you're
the
right.
red line on the screen for the news.
Yep, and I just got stopped on that, guys.
Question: if anybody, any of us trade BTC? I do not personally. I don't know if you guys do. I don't know if he's meaning Bitcoin itself or the futures. I don't really mess with crypto.
I just long-term hold it. I actually this is kind of crazy, but I have an average entry of $7,000 on BTC.
Wow, very nice.
I think I just got stopped out to the tick on that, guys. So I might be the new top tick Miriam.
Top tick Miriam.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't. This is still something I actually still like. I unfortunately got stopped out. Nothing crazy, honestly. It was like $120 that I got stopped out on this because I had such a tight stop. This is more of a contrarian trade that I took, so I'm very well aware of this not working in my favor, and honestly, maybe continuing to the upside here. But the reason I took this trade, and I'll kind of show you guys why I took this, but the reason I like this is when I look at book maps, I noticed these constant rejections of the 600 level. In some cases, we couldn't even quite reach 600. So the reason I took that was purely because I kept seeing these rejections. Oftentimes when you see these multiple rejection points, you tend to see a nice breakdown to the downside, which we might still get. What I'm going to do right now is I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to re-enter this trade. It very much could work out in my favor at this point, but I was happy with my risk on this. I really only risked like 5 points. I mean, nothing crazy. The reason I only I risked like 7 points on this, which is way less than I would normally risk, with the intention of, if I do get stopped out, it's fine. But what I didn't want, and of course, I also made the mistake of getting in before the news, but what I didn't want is, bulls completely shoving through this, and then, we get this massive move to the upside. But that's not really showing the case right now. I just got, liquidity grabbed on that. But it's okay. I'm just going to wait for the market to digest this news that comes out. So we'll see what
Miriam, we get. Whoever gets more top tick trades on Tradeify TV gets the title. It's either top tick chick or top tick Nick.
Top tick chick. I actually kind of like that. That one I like.
That does sound like a good street name.
Top tick chick.
Like, oh shit, top tick chick is coming. We're in a crew.
I would be scared. That's for sure.
You should be.
We got data coming out in 5 seconds, guys.
All right. Jolt's job openings on deck, guys. Check your orders.
And there you go.
All right. Well, definitely would have been stopped out on that.
Skadoosh.
All right. Let's see what this came up. Matt, do you have the information on that?
It has not hit my newsfeed yet, but probably coming in as expected. Or, let's see. Let's see how... So how long do you guys usually stay out after news like this? For me, I mostly will at least wait 1 to 2 minutes, but I like to wait for that 5-minute candle.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, something like that.
All right, factory orders also coming in, actual negative 3.7%, expecting negative 3. Jolt's job openings, actual 7.39 million, expecting 7.1. So everything mostly in line.
Yeah, it's not too big of a reaction either.
Well, we are also breaking, well, we did actually, let me go back to ES here because I just realized I had my MNQ on here. So ES, that's the thing though, ES still hasn't been able to clear the high. ES is actually the much weaker of the indices right now. NASDAQ is very much getting that move to the upside. And this is what I don't like to see, guys. This is what kind of prevents me from really trying to get into a trade. And actually that trade I liked. It would have probably been better to take it on ES just because ES is the weaker of the two. But you know, it's just one of those where I want to see futures more in sync. And the reason that I just don't like this right now, yes, we are both above VWAP. Yes, we do have you know, still this uptrend, but ES is just not able to clear yesterday's high. I can
Fed
add
Bostic
these.
is speaking right now, guys. I'm getting some quotes on the news feed. Fed Bostic.
Okay, so we do
All
have
right.
that too. Yeah, so ES is yesterday's high was sitting at 955 area. NASDAQ is well above yesterday's high at 577 area. So, you know, for me, I want to see that both futures are in alignment. And right now, even ES is kind of struggling at yesterday's close. So, not
Yep.
really
By the way, anybody in the chat asking for free resets, we are actually going to have free resets today. We have 50 free resets for advanced accounts and 30 free resets for growth accounts. And we do those giveaways, or we do those, we give those away when Coach Tank comes on at 10:30, which is going to be in 28 minutes. And right now we're pumping. We're at 21,630 already.
And to answer the question in the chat, Fed what does that mean? Fed Bostic. So anytime I say Fed Bostic, who else is up there? Fed Powell, Fed whoever. It's a Fed speaker. So it's somebody who's on the board of the Federal Reserve who's, you know, every time they do remarks, they have to, like, you know, be vetted in advance, and they have to do so. At least not when they're not off the cuff. But so anytime they're scheduled to speak, and sometimes they're scheduled to speak and it's not monetary policy, but anytime there's a Fed speaker, we want to at least know that, because even a wrong comma in their speech or something can move the NQ 30, 40, 50 points. So breaking out to highs here, guys. We got some volume delta, some strength to it. Didn't really get my hitch and go because of where we were on everything, but boy, showing some strength here. Let's look at the big picture, guys, on the NQ. We have now broken out above this prior zone. I think we got range up to 800. I don't know if we get there today, but let's see if we can't get a little bit of a pullback and a setup. Don't want to chase this move up. And also, interestingly, guys, you know, we're pushing up here, but every one of these candles has a little bit of a seller's tail on it. You want to be very careful. Our volume delta is strong. You don't want them to trap the longs, you know, in any key area, like, you know, whether it's yesterday's high or, to me, the 600. A move of an ATR above that's not definitive, right? So our 5-minute ATR is 27. So we really need to get above 650 for me to start saying, okay, yeah, this is a definitive move to the upside. Otherwise, they could really be looking to trap longs. We have seen, especially in calendar 2025, especially with the tariffs and all that, we have seen big intraday reversals, guys. So this is a see green, take green day for me if I find anything that I like. But I'm also going to be very, very careful. I think Miriam approached her trade very, very well, because it was, again, one of those trades, guys. What's the saying? We're right or we're right out. And there's going to be times you see me take a smaller position size. So maybe I have a 20, 30, 40 handle stop loss on it if I'm playing for more. But at the same time, guys, you don't want to fuck around on days like today, especially if you're in an eval or funded, you're very close to getting a payout or passing or something like that. Take the profit while it's there. You know, I know the YouTuber mentality is to swing for the fences, guys. That's not what we do, and that's not what builds accounts and turns your account into a paycheck. It's getting those, you know, we're swinging hard, but we're swinging for line drives, nice singles and doubles, and every now and then you're going to get a hold of one that goes over the fence. So just kind of keep that in mind for all my baseball fans here.
Absolutely. And everybody asking for even more giveaways and more resets and more of everything. I mean, we want to throw that your way, but you got to do one thing. You got to like this stream right now. You got to make sure you're subscribed. You have notification bells on. That's actually 3 things, but let's combine them and say that's one thing. So make sure, if you haven't yet, like that stream and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our crazy good giveaways that we are going to have in the future. Today alone, we're going to give away 80 free resets once Coach Tan comes on.
Absolutely. And guys, I cannot wait for Coach Tank. I'm jealous of you all that you get to meet him for the first time.
Fair. It was
He's-
amazing
yeah,
meeting him in Miami.
He's a hoot. He is a hoot. Next level up, if you guys are long on this, next level up I see is 650 on the NASDAQ. Again, ES still struggling at clearing yesterday's high, so I'm not a huge fan of this upside move. If you're already in this though, it still looks good. However, I'm not going to be looking at entering any new positions until we clear yesterday's high on ES. That's something I want to see.
Let's see. I would love to see some sort of a consolidation here and then break out of that for a long.
Yeah, not loving ES's price action today. This is not something I want to see.
What makes you not like it?
I'm not liking the it's not getting the juice that NASDAQ has. I mean, if you compare the 5-minute charts on both futures, I mean, you see, NASDAQ has obviously we got that drop initially, but then, we made a nice recovery at the 500 level, but ES has kind of been chopping around here. I mean, still in an uptrend, but getting these top wicks here is not something that's convincing me. So for me, if anything, I might actually move to trading ES today for any potential downside moves, because if NASDAQ gets the juice here, then we can get the nice drop on ES. This is actually a nice trend line here also on ES. If you guys look at my right side here, we got ES forming this really nice trend line on the 5-minute, which is in confluence with VWAP. So if we do break this trend line sitting at 935, that's a level that I'd probably look to get into for a short. With a target down here to 922, that'll give you a nice 12-point move to the downside. So it could be a nice move to the downside if we do get the juice from NASDAQ as well, because it'll definitely help push ES to the downside too. So just something to kind of keep watch on.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting the selling coming in here.
Yep, we're dumping.
Yeah, Silent says, who hasn't clicked like? Well, I don't know, but y'all need to click it.
Fact.
Wow, look at this coming in.
We're dropping. We just had within 3 minutes we dropped 70 points.
I'm watching the news feed here, guys. Wonder if we got a tweet or a comment. This
well,
feed
actually,
is great about posting the president's public schedule. They really haven't done it much, or at least I'm missing it.
Before we started the stream, guys, I actually drew that level, the 21,620 level. If you don't believe me, go back to the first couple minutes of the stream. I already had it on. The reason why I drew this level here and we rejected it pretty hard is because we consolidated at that level on Thursday last week. Right, we had some consolidation on the 50-minute before a very, very heavy dump. So that's why I marked this out, and it seems like that is still holding for now. I didn't trade it though, just to be fair. That's not my strategy.
Wow, whipped right to that trend line on VWAP. Look at that, guys. I'm not a bounce trader. I like to trade the breakouts, but this would have been a nice clean bounce on this trend line. You can see ES actually bounced right to that zone. So nice little hold there. Like I said, this is why I would wait for this 935 to break, because we would actually get a break of this trend line, and then we could see some movement down.
OG traders made 1K in 3 minutes with one mini
Wow.
on MQ. Congratulations.
And good position size there. Good position size.
Depends
Like
on
when
the
people get big profits on small position size. That's the name of the
50
game for the
pointers.
first year or two.
Nice. I'm just observing for now.
I'm looking at it too. It looks like some people took that golden pocket move. Brett, that is your move right there.
The signature move.
Signature move, yeah.
We're very
Somebody's
calm
saying-
and serene right now. I like that, guys. Very
Somebody's
calm.
saying 3 minis is not a small position size. No, it was 3 minutes and 1 mini.
Yeah, 1 mini. But actually, you make a great point, Space Station. That's true, because some people will tell you it is. If you're not full porting, bro, what are you even trading? My douchey alter ego may make an appearance on this show at one point. I used to do a little bit about that. Maybe we'll pop that up next week. But anyway,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, 3 minis. I mean, 3 minis is a small position size in the grand scheme of things, but for retail traders, that's a good solid position size. That's about where I am, and I've been doing this for several years. So, you catch a really nice move in 3 minis. That's a day maker and possibly a week maker at that point. So, yeah, Nvidia is leading. I'll check for tomorrow's show. I think I have stock data on this. I think I get the $9 add-on for TradingView for the stock data. So maybe we'll start looking at least the Mag 7 because of how much they influence the NQ.
Yeah, it definitely has some influence. Did you guys do you still to this day look at other stocks when you're trading NASDAQ?
Not as much as I should.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that was something I used to trade because I used to trade options. So I used to trade the Teslas and the Nvidias and the Amazons when Amazon was, above $3,000 and actually traded well. But I used to trade all of those. I used to look at all of those. But it's funny how, I don't look at them as much anymore as well.
Hey, Leo, thank you for the kind comment, sir.
I was about to call him out as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Leo. And to the guy called Reset, asking where's Tank. Coach Tank will be coming on.
I know we all need him right now.
18 minutes till we got Coach Tank. This is going to be fire. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this since we started the show.
I want to know in the chat too, if you guys have any specific questions for Coach Tank. What do you guys have for him? Like if you had a trading coach right in front of you guys talking to you live, what are your burning questions that you have?
That's a good idea.
I've got a couple for him as well. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I know it's going to be I haven't had my actual one-on-one.
The first question is going to be, can I get a free reset?
In that same voice and everything. I love it.
Yeah, Leah is trading
a little bit of it feels like we're pinning to 600 here, guys.
Yep. Same as our viewers. We're at 613.
There you go.
NASDAQ price is always at our viewer count.
Well, get it the fuck up there, then.
We already got some really good questions coming in. Like how do we manage greed? How to stay patient. It's going to be good.
Ever thought about trading as self-therapy?
We're all going to bring those up when Coach Tank comes on.
Oh, we just got an edict from Background Nick.
Oof.
We need 500 likes for the giveaways, guys.
Okay. So 164 more to go. Guys, make sure to smash the like button. I love saying that. And we're going to get the view count up. We're going to get the likes up. We're going to get the subscribers up so we can give you guys more. All right. So hit that right now at 500. And once Coach Tank comes on, we're going to give you the 80 free resets.
Yeah, super exciting.
We're stalling out here at 21,600 on that NQ.
Yeah, we're not able to get a lot of divergence away from that 600 level. Again, when you stack, here's something, guys, when you stack up levels, right? And so within about 30 points here, we have 600, we've got our daily high, we've got yesterday's high. We're not too far from our open, about 50 some points. So we've got a lot of levels here. And, one of the reasons I know I just started putting these levels on my trading view charts, but some of these intraday or intra-week high, mids, lows, opens, close, etc. Like the algos pay a lot of attention to that, and the HFTs pay a lot of attention to that stuff. So those are areas where there is naturally going to occur some price consolidation. But yeah, right now, honestly, there's nothing for me unless we break high a day or we get back below the negative +1 standard deviation in yesterday's high. So if we're just going to hover between about 570 and about 625 or so, there's just not a whole lot for me there.
Yeah, same for me. Just waiting, honestly.
Well, and I also want to say, guys, and you see us take small losses too, and guys, this is a tough month so far, I don't just mean the 3 days of June, but the last about 3 to 4 weeks have been very tough on structured systems, right? Because we've seen a lot of random movement and a lot of, we've already seen today a couple of big swipes that probably took people out of trades and were right back at their entry in 3 or 4 seconds after they were stopped out. So it's pretty challenging setups for structured systems, and especially technically structured systems like through candlesticks and or trend line breaks and or Renkos and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a tough price action. So keep that in mind. So if your systems are stalling out a little bit or not working, that's okay. Nothing wrong with just stepping back a little bit or reducing your position size.
Absolutely. Yeah. This was definitely a day for me to reduce my position size, especially on that last trade that I took. I think I took 7 micros on that. 7 micros on that. And you guys can see I lost like, $121 on it because I kept my risk tight. So for me, it's all about, it was one of those, I call it a hero trade, right? It was a hero trade to me, not just a contrarian trade, but for me, it was one of those where I knew going into it that I could very much lose on it. I didn't want to lose very much, right? But the reward on that could have been substantial, right? So for me, I was willing to take that risk knowing that I could very much be wrong. But if I am wrong, I'm not taking a massive loss on it. And so like going back to, what was talked about earlier about, do you take these drawdowns? Do you close your drawdowns or reduce your risk as you're in a trade? And for me, it was one of those where it was like, I knew exactly what I was getting into. I was hoping for at least, a 70-point move with risking 7 points. So I don't even know what the risk to reward ratio is on that, but that was kind of just to give you guys insight, the strategy that I was looking for on that. Those sort of trades, like I said, they're called hero trades because, I'm going in on it, like hoping for a bigger move. But it's not something that I take day in and day out. These are not like my normal day-to-day strategy moves. It's just something that I saw on the chart and I was like, this actually looks pretty good. Unfortunately, we're in on news right before the trade, but
that was a bit unfortunate.
Yes, still, like I'm telling you guys, I'm not really liking ES's moves here. We are still in an uptrend, but I'm seeing NASDAQ just stalling at this level here as well. So kind of it might be one of those sideways days, or we might get a move later in the day as well.
Wouldn't be a Tradeify TV day without some bullshit after the opening 30.
I'm actually just typing out questions from the chat right now, putting them aside for Coach Tank, who comes on in 12 minutes.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got to get ready for Coach Tank. Just a second here. There we go. Now I'm ready.
True, that's his signature style. Let's see.
He has the top 2 unbuttoned. Nick has the white tee. I saw we got the white tee gang in the chat today.
Yeah, Wiz is here. Wiz is here with the white tee. Legend.
Love that.
Thank you, Tradeify, for being one of the few trustworthy prop firms out there without changing up rules on traders all the time. Been with you since the beginning. I love it. Fan-fucking-tastic, George. I'm even going to forgive that Eagles logo in your avatar there. Say, well done.
All right, pushing into yesterday's high here on ES. Let's see if these orders get cleared. Next level on ES, if we do clear 955, is going to be that 960 area. Still not able to clear it just yet, though. Keep getting rejected.
Gotta stay patient.
The no shirt gang, says Josh. Okay, well.
Maybe for you men out there, maybe. Wouldn't be too quick
for you in shape dudes under 30. For the rest of us, not so much. Actually, I got the farmer's tan so bad. If I took out my shirt with these bright lights, I'd short the camera out and crack the screen. So
you'd give all the exposure that I need for my light.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man.
I don't even need a ring light anymore. I can just use matte. Still kind of struggling here. Let's see if we get the juice to push above this 955. This is kind of what I'm looking for, guys. I really want to see.
Yeah.
We just keep rejecting. We keep rejecting.
We keep polling that. Also, Daniel Rodriguez just said the right thing in the chat. He said we need to get 500 likes. Y'all step it up.
What are
we
we
do
at?
need
I only
500
have the
likes
chat up.
because
Where are
if
we
we
at
don't get 500
likes-wise?
likes, we're not going to do the giveaway. So make sure to like the stream right now. I mean, we have 660 viewers right now, so we can for sure get 500 likes.
Oh,
so
yeah, everybody.
So we can do the giveaway, guys. We want to give you some free resets. We got 80 coming your way. We just need you to like the stream.
And when I always like it when I first pull up the chat. So like I did my part, guys.
Me too. I was actually the first like today.
Yeah, we.
Ooh, first like.
That's nice. Well, yeah, he's got the time zone advantage.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cheating.
Nick
Now,
liked it at like.
We appreciate the views. We don't buy views like some other streams. Not going to name them right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. At least people here know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, but nobody has the viewers that we have. Actually, can we get a poll really quick? I want to see who is green on the day so far, who is red, and who is still flat like Matt and I. I would love to see it because so far every single day we did Tradeify TV, we actually saw that we have like outstanding stats from our viewers. Like you guys are killing it, like over 50% green usually, which is crazy, defying all odds. So let's see.
Y'all are either some great traders or some big fucking liars, but either way, it's entertaining. So
yeah, you don't have to comment it. You can just use the poll. It's up now. Let's see. I'm still flat, so I'm gonna choose that option.
Yeah, as did I.
We're already back at 57% green, 58% green. That's fucking crazy. Like we got the best traders here at Tradeify. Somebody ILS saying still sitting out this PA. Yep, welcome to the team. Matt and I are still sitting it out too.
Yeah, really interesting few days to trade.
Yeah, David W, nice, $605 in profit. James, 1,900 profit. Congratulations, well done. We got a small green from Craig. Craig, he has 126 green. We have a minus 100 also. Good
I want to
work.
address somebody specifically saying something about the buying views. I'm not accusing anybody. Okay, don't go into another chat and says this person says you got no. That's not what I'm saying. I was just making a comment.
And I was just saying, like minus 100, also a W if you stuck to your rules. That's fine. That's good. We got a plus 600 from Tony Montana. We got Ryan Robinson plus 430. We got Ajit Singh plus 892. Guys, you guys are crushing it. Congratulations. Nice. Chat is eating today. Background Nick phrased that perfectly. And also, we are getting more likes. Let's see if we already approached the 500 mark. We're currently sitting at, let's see, refreshing here, 455, 45 more to go. So we can give away 80 free resets and have Coach Tank come on in 6 minutes. Good work, chat. Good work, chat.
We're super close there.
I actually already see Coach Tank in the background. Holy cow, he looks good as usual.
Dapper as fuck.
You guys can't see, but expect
you guys are not ready for this. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, all right. We're still printing a good old barcode on the 1 minute. It's super choppy. So I'm sitting this one out until we get something.
Yeah, I still like this trend line on both futures. I mean, if we get there, who knows? We might get there at the... hopefully we get there on the stream. I would love to trade on with you guys to trade my setup here, but this so far is the highest probability that I see. Again, that drop below 935. I'm going to look for us to actually break 938, but my entry will likely be around 936 on ES. Safest entry will be like 934.50. But we have room. We got room.
What would be your target on that trade?
My target would actually be probably around 925, 922.
Okay, nice.
So a decent 10 plus, 12 plus trade on ES, which is really good. We're getting this selling coming in. It's been a while actually since I've traded ES. Nick, have you ever traded ES? That's what I want to know.
No. I literally only trade NASDAQ. I told you.
You've never traded ES?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No.
We're gonna get him to pop his ES cherry on this stream.
Yeah.
sometime.
Well, maybe we can do a day sometime later down the road where we all trade something new. Everybody has to trade a new instrument that they have not traded yet.
I actually like that.
That would
I
be
like that a lot. We could even, I mean, possibly look at some charts and do some chart analysis on different instruments that we've never even looked at before, just to kind of give an idea.
Finance Lab in the chat is saying petition to change Nick's name from Nick to Mr. White, and I asked him like the Mr. White, and he said yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons we're not going to do that.
It's probably better.
Not in this economy.
Nope. All right. We're sitting at, let's see, we're sitting at 479 likes. Guys, we need 500 and we're going to do the 80 free resets. Make sure to like the stream so we can give it away and bring Coach Tank on.
Getting this push here on ES. Those buyers or those sellers got cleared, but we still need the volume to help sustain above this level.
Yeah, we're starting to form a little tiny trend line here on the 1 minute on NQ. Let's see if that holds or confirms, I should say. For me, a trend line is only confirmed once we have at least 3 touch points. Miriam, I know you use a lot of trend lines. Is that the same for you, like 3 touch points, but I guess on higher time frame?
Yeah, I definitely like 3. Some people will just say like 1, 2, which one will be the starting point of the trend line. But I think on a higher time frame, that's actually okay. Less touch points on a higher time frame is fine. But when you're talking about smaller time frames, intraday time frames, I do prefer more touch points. So, even on this one that we're looking at for both futures, let me just zoom out here. We have a decent amount of touches, right? We got 1, 2, this could be considered 1, but I like to call it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 here. So we have some decent touch points on this one on ES. NASDAQ as well. This might be considered 1, 2, but, I do like this trend line on both futures. ES is the one that I like the most. Just because it's been respected, and we have some confluence here with VWAP and a lot of room to the downside. So again, I'm going to be watching that. If we just make the move to the upside here, it is what it is. But
fair enough. Actually, we just crossed 500 likes, and I got word that we can now bring on Coach Tank, the legend, the coach for our live traders at Tradeify. So we should do this. We should do the giveaway right when he comes on. I know he has 45 minutes of time right after he has to go in other coaching sessions. So let's give it up for Coach Tank, guys. Put a tank in the chat, and I really want that soundboard so we get the claps.
Woo! Let's go.
What's up, Coach?
Can you hear us, Coach?
Yeah, he can, but he's muted.
I cannot hear him.
For whatever reason, he is muted.
He's like, hold on.
Yeah, Drew on the background, in the background, our producer.
Is it better now?
Yeah,
Now.
there we go.
Yeah.
Right.
There we go. What's up, Coach?
Right. Very well, thanks. How are you? Morning, everybody. How are you doing?
Very
We're
good.
great now.
Wow. I'd just like to say, off the bat, this has been a fantastic show past week and this week, guys. First of all, congratulations. It's been fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really,
Well, it just
really,
got more
really-
fantastic with you being here. So
No, it's so watchable. Such a lovely contrast between the technicals, the chat, the banter, the quality, the psychology. It's perfect. Really, really good show. But yeah, I'm pleased to be here. It's good to see how many. Coach, you Indian origin? No, close. My parents are Sri Lankan. I was born in.
gotta get that one out of the way.
yeah. Born and raised in London. It is raining, as you can imagine right now.
As of course it is. It's always raining there. My sister and her husband are there right now with their daughter as well. So yeah, it's always raining there. So Coach, we only have you for a short time, so we don't need to do a full bio, but give us in about 2 minutes or less who you are, what you do, and your background to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess if I start 11 years ago, I graduated as a theoretical physicist, so a scientist originally. The same shit that Sheldon did, by the way, if you were wondering. But yeah, it's a quantum mechanics. And then I went straight to finance, and the idea was I was working institutionally, and then I set up a private fund 10 years ago. So over a decade, I've been trading that. But 7 years ago, I was asked to work in trading education with, it's a brilliant thing to see how market access is now open for everybody. Okay, 20 years ago, you couldn't just walk your way onto a market and start trading it unless you had at least 100,000 to work on the life floor here in London. You needed £100,000 a month to have access to the prices 20 years ago. So now everyone has access. It's brilliant. However, there's definitely a need for a bit of trading education because, as you know, you can make a lot of money, but you can lose a lot of money. And there's a lot of psychology involved as well, and a bit of technical and understanding fundamentals. So 7 years ago, I started working in trading education as well. University business schools, asset managers, individual traders that were struggling in their jobs, all the way to celebrities, professional athletes, high net worth individuals, royalty, Saudi royalty, UK royalty, all the way, and I don't want to say down to, but financially all the way down to your plumbers, your nurses, your teachers. And I think what I gained from that experience 7 years was everybody's different. And so there was no chance that we could create a blanket program for everybody. There are a few things that are common, of course, but generally I realized we have to deal with people on an individual basis. And that's why I think one-to-one coaching, bespoke one-to-one coaching, and it really is bespoke. I've probably worked with hundreds of traders on a one-to-one basis, thousands in general, but hundreds on a one-to-one basis, and not a single program has been identical. And I've worked with identical twins, and not a single program has been identical. So I think the important thing is that, I'm now working with Tradeify, and the idea is we're trying to keep our live traders live. Once you get to the live position, unfortunately, in the prop trading business, a lot of people end up getting thrown back in the pond. And our idea at Tradeify is once you get live, we keep you live and you stay live. So it's a nice thing. It's a really good initiative, in my opinion, because it's free of charge, your first 3 sessions. And we will do one-to-ones. I've already done 3 weeks, pages and pages of bespoke programs with live traders. And it's very individualistic. So we're talking about your life, we're talking about your routines, we're talking about all the things that could affect the application of your strategy. And that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to offer, is basically a third person perspective, an objective perspective. If somebody does well, I'll tell them they did well. If somebody acts like a dick, I'll call them a dick. I think that's important.
I know what's coming my way.
Sorry, I'm sorry to hear about your kitty cat.
Thank you,
Matt,
appreciate it.
Sorry to hear about that this morning. I think the idea is that we'll have very honest conversations. I think the only way you progress in trading really is to be honest with yourself. The problem is, unfortunately, when you're trading by yourself at home, you're accountable to yourself, so you can let yourself off. Whereas, when we were trading institutionally, we had risk managers with metaphorical sniper rifles and, red dots on the back of your head. They'll keep you in check. We had economists that were reading all the news and they were giving us reports. We had technical analysts that were doing all the charting. We had HR departments that will determine whether you are unfit to trade or whether you were going through something, maybe even like yourself today, Matt, and so on and so forth. But when you're trading for yourself, you're every department in an institution. And a lot of people don't realize that. They just think it's a bit of a hobby that they can just do on the side and dabble in. But you're really trying to match the performance of a whole company in every department, and it gets overwhelming and it gets difficult. So what I'll try to do is break it down, and we'll attack specific parts of that system. And if you've got a technical system where you can make money, and a lot of people have the ability to make money, I've noticed everyone I've worked with has made a lot of money, but a lot of these people also have the ability to lose a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take the boring side, and I'm going to try and make sure we kind of plug the back door before we focus too much on making money. We're going to make sure we don't lose money, and build like that. That's the general gist of what I've been doing in the past few weeks.
Since you are looking after our live traders and making sure that they keep their account, I mean, obviously we also push to get more of our traders into live, right? So why don't you say we give away some free resets for those people who need another go at getting live? How do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It sounds brilliant. But trade it properly. Trade it with a bit of accountability, guys. Nurture your trading account. Don't take the piss, because you're going to be right back at the start again. But absolutely, hand them out.
Definitely. So let's do that right now. We're going to give away 50 free resets on advanced accounts. And you simply need the code advanced tank for that. It's going to be in the chat shortly. Tradeify is going to post it in the chat here. So use it. Whoever uses it first gets it first. That's how it is. First come, first serve.
Oh, wow. I do actually. I've seen a bit of the chat, and I also do have a bit of a short bias, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question for you here, Coach, on behalf of the coaches here. So we were talking about this both off stream and on a little bit. So for us, 3 traders have been trading for quite some time successfully. We're now in a situation where there's been 2 major changes. First of all, to our routines. My morning routine has been basically unchanged for 6 years prior to a couple weeks ago doing this show. And now, of course, we're trading in front of thousands of people every day. So for us mentally, and I'll peel the curtain back here a little bit. Like, what recommendations would you have for us? Just 10,000 foot general stuff when we have these major life changes going on as we want to continue to trade successfully here on stream.
Before you answer that, sorry to interrupt really quick.
Go.
I see people typing advanced tank. Guys, you don't have to type it in the chat. You have to use that code at checkout when you reset your account on the Tradeify website. Just want to clarify that. You don't have to type it, guys.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, it's a very fair question, because something that I've learned over the years is that people's circumstance changes, whether it's yours right now, whether it's people that have spent 10 hours a day in front of a chart, then end up having a child, end up getting a job alongside. So generally time frames change, but also, for you guys, it's a tricky one for sure, because you need to be shown to be trading. It was really interesting yesterday. I was sat at home watching the stream yesterday, for instance, and it's a difficult thing to exhibit something without essentially exhibiting something, but not trading is also a big part of it. So I think what you need to do is not shy away from the fact that there could be a day where you place absolutely nothing, and if somebody calls you out for that, then they're absolutely wrong. It's interesting what happened yesterday when the market popped a little bit. I was literally saying to one of my friends that it's statistically known that Mondays are a trader's worst day. And my friend asked me, why is that? Why is it that Mondays are statistically across all institutions? Why are Mondays the worst day? And the bottom line is that if you're a trader, you define yourself by trading. And if you've had a weekend off and you start on Monday, you're in the office on Monday, you're at your desk on Monday, it's very difficult to not place a trade and go home on a Monday, because you see yourself as a trader. And so generally what you find is the deviation from a strategy happens most often on a Monday in terms of days of the week. And sometimes people jump into things, and sometimes you think, you know what, I'm under pressure myself, but also you guys are on screen now, and I can imagine that's very, very difficult. So I think what I would say is be happy to not take a trade, and people watching you should understand that that's also good trading. Understand in a situation where the probability of success of your system is low, so you do not implement it. It's interesting what you did today, Miriam, that sort of, you could call it a shot to nothing, essentially, that you put £100 on, $120 on, and the potential reward was so high. So it was a bit of a shot to nothing. But generally would say, if there's no trade, there's no trade, and that's absolutely fine. So try and stick to your guns. You're going to get support. I don't think Brett's going to be sat there behind you poking a stick saying, take a trade, take a trade. I don't know if he is, but hopefully
he's right here. He's right here. Don't say anything.
Pan down under the desk. But I think the idea is just sort of stick by your guns, outline what you want to do to everybody so they know. what you're looking for. I think you're all very sincere and clear on what you're looking for. So should it arise, you take it. Should it not arise, you don't take it. But I think it's just sort of, like you said, you've got a lot of experience, and therefore don't feel pressured to get into things. And now you're making the change to your daily routine and so on and so forth. Take your time, start small. I always used to say to people, if you need to practice a bit, practice on a simulated account a little bit. I see that as the practice pitch. Then I see your live account as a game day pitch, essentially, where you're doing the same mechanisms, but the pressure of a crowd, the pressure of people watching, the pressure of the result is there, and therefore the same mechanism can be a little bit distorted. So if you need to, play some trades on a demo account just to get back into the flow of things, get your body regulated, and then progress up with smaller risk, and then into back to your normal risk parameters. But the bottom line is you might make less money once you've made a change, but you shouldn't lose more money, because we spoke about this. I think Nick said earlier today, he doesn't have a cap on how much money he could make in a day. We are not in control of that, really. And it would be daft for you to apply your strategy and your system to a market that's conducive, and you're making money and the market's conducive. Then you say, you know what, I've made enough, I'm going to stop now. That doesn't really make sense. You should never risk it all. So have a daily drawdown trailing your profit, so that, if you initially had a drawdown of $1,000 and you make $3,000 profit, you don't then have $4,000 to play with. I think that's bullshit. And I've seen a lot of people do that. They sort of think that that initial drawdown of $2,000 in a live account is there. Even if they get to 10,000 in the morning, they then have 12,000 to risk. That's not the case. So if it's working for you, keep trading, keep applying, but essentially bring it up the backside. So if you get to 10,000 profit in a trade and you close everything out, you can still trade again. But the moment you get to 9,000, call it a day, something like that. But what we are in control of for sure, our worst possible day. So my worst possible day ever, I know it's not going to affect how I am with my wife. It's not going to affect where we're going to go for dinner on Friday. It's not going to affect whether we're going to go to the south of France next weekend. It's not going to affect that, because it's risk that I've determined I can digest, and it's not really going to mess with my life and my psychology. So I think it's a case of, once you're making a change in your life, as you guys have, start small, start demo, get used to the process again, and then slowly increase it to your normal risk. But with regards to trading in front of a lot of people, I can understand the pressure there to play something, but stick to your guns. I think your chat's good enough. You don't always have to be in trades. You guys got good enough chat. So
we got a great chat. We got
Fair
great
enough.
chat.
We do have a great chat. But also to everybody in the chat saying right now that the code is not working, it's because it is limited to 50 users, and that is already gone. But we are going to have a growth account reset, actually 30 growth account resets coming up for free as well. We do that giveaway at 11 a.m. So until then, we have some more time for banger questions for Coach Tank. And actually, Coach Tank, I do have a question that I copied out here before, because we asked the chat what they want to ask you. And somebody asked, when holding a position, how do you overcome anxiety when holding it? He said, I don't even take on that big of a size, but I still get very anxious about holding it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. I had a session this morning, and we spoke about the anxiety of entering a trade and whilst you're in a trade. And there's different ways, different workarounds, because for some people, it's a case of stay disciplined and tell yourself not to mess it up, not to worry about it. Don't close it early, don't trail your stop loss too tight. But for some people that doesn't work, and so you need a workaround. For me personally, I'm the sort of person that when I'm in a position, I have such a realistic target that's not too far away that my management is minimal to none. So I close my chart. I have enough faith in the setup that I've done it correctly. I should either get entered and hit target, entered and stopped out. Either way, I'm happy with the trade. So the idea is we need to learn to be happy with taking losses. I saw somebody in the chat sort of say, don't ever lose, but that's ridiculous. You need to be okay with losing. And therefore, if your risk is set at a place where you're happy with it, you shouldn't really feel stressed whilst you're in the trade. And if watching it stresses you, close it. Trust your process. The worst thing you can do is watch a little candle bobble up and down. I used to call it the Pepper Army pullback, but it's when it goes up, comes back down, and you're thinking, I know. The moment you doubt yourself the most is when you've just entered it and it goes offside and you think, fuck, I've got this wrong. For me, I place orders and I actually disappear. There's two ways to hunt a pig. You can actively watch it and try and hunt it actively, or you can set traps and disappear. I'm the sort of person, and there's pros and cons of both, stress levels and knowing what you're going to get. I prefer to place orders based on setups, and I say, if I see this, and this happen, and then that should happen, I would like to do this. And I'd like to do this to there with a stop loss here. And then I disappear. And it either enters me and stops me out, enters me, hits target, enters me, still runs, or doesn't enter me at all. Either way, I've removed the anxiety and the stress of the process, because I know if I'm going to sit and watch it, I'm probably going to poke it and probably fuck it up. So I remove myself. So it's all very personal and individual. Like I said, some people are disciplined enough. I used the example, my brother and his wife, they can have half a chocolate biscuit every evening. They break a biscuit in half and half of. Yeah, it's a bit psychotic, but I know if I have chocolate biscuits, I'm going to have half a pack with one cup of tea and another half a pack with another cup of tea. And I can't tell myself not to do that, but my workaround is to not buy chocolate biscuits. It's simple as that. So you've got to understand yourself and understand what's realistic with yourself. And for some people, the only answer is shut the screens. I had a chat today with a chap and he said, he's going to place orders, he's going to place trades. And as soon as he's placed the trade, he's going to go for a walk. It's the best thing for him, because should he stay, the probability is he's going to mess it up, and then it's going to go onto his target, and then he's going to get into something regretfully, and he's going to revenge trade, and then it's a snowball effect. So if you're really struggling to watch it, I would suggest you move on, shut it down, move on, take the hit, S1 or T1.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. We've only been on this for less than 20 minutes with you, and you're already dropping the heat with all the knowledge that you have. I mean, there's so many questions I already have for you, but before we do that, I think we want to do another quick giveaway. I think we're ready for it. Before we get into some more questions, we'll let the chat kind of dive in here.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, it's oh, go on.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Because I got one from the chat, a really good one.
Go ahead and ask the question while I make sure that we're doing this giveaway real quick.
All right, cool. Yeah, we do the giveaway at 11, so in 10 minutes. So somebody said, I do always, okay, some typos in here. Anyways, person said, he's always profitable for like 3 to 4 days and then gives away all the profits in like 1 day. What is the best advice to overcome that, and what could he do?
Yeah, it's isn't it? It's an interesting one, because there's many ways that people break rules, but one of the most common is when things are going well. It happens to a lot of people. When things are going well, they get greedy, they lose their rules, they get complacent. I think something that Brian Stonk, wasn't it? Something that he said was, his biggest issue psychologically is being a bit greedy, and when things are going well, he kind of thinks he's got a bit of spare money, and then the wheels kind of fall off a little bit. So it's a really, really tricky one when you're doing well. But if you notice that 3 to 4 days you're doing well, have a 4-day week. I was just reading about it in Iceland. They have a 4-day week. It's quite clear. If you have statistics that show any given one of your days is by far the worst, and if it is simply your 5th day, take a time out and see what happens, because you might realize that you do 4 days really, really well. On the 5th day, you're creeping in that sort of a little bit of arrogance, bit of house money effect, where you've got a bit more money to play with. You think, and then the gambling sort of comes in. You loosen the rules. Simple thing is take that day off. Make it a gym day, make it a laundry day, do your house admin, and then have a little reset. Because sometimes you need to have that little break for you to recalibrate your rules and your mindset, and you get back into it. It's very difficult to have continuous good days and always keep the standard high. I think that's one of the great things about people like Cristiano Ronaldo, for instance. He's done what he needs to do, and yet he's still going to eat well. He's still going to do everything well, and it's kind of staying at the top there. It's almost impossible. So know yourself and know that if you're going to maybe do something a bit naughty on your 5th day, do it on a sim account, do it on a smaller risk, or choose not to trade on the 5th day. These are things that these are workarounds, because like I said, for a lot of people, you can't just say on the 5th day, don't be a dick. It doesn't work like that. So you have to think about workarounds. And I think that's something that's an option is, simulated account it, or do something else that's less destructive. Yeah, something like that.
It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
So,
it's about. Go on.
Let me ask you this, just because I know we have a lot of people in the chat. The chat is loving this segment, and we'll make it as regular as possible as your time allows, since you're working with the live traders. But obviously, there's a lot of steps to get to that point to where somebody's a live trader. So, what are some techniques that you can recommend for our traders who, and whether they're struggling or they're passing evals and failing funded, whatever? What are some personal analysis techniques that traders in their first year or two should be doing every day?
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I think statistics don't lie. It's all very well talking about something and telling yourself something, or talking with your colleagues about it, or talking in chat rooms. But for me, black and white statistics never lie. So document everything. I think the journal that you have is fantastic with Tradeify. I've never seen something like that given out free before, by the way, in my life. So it's a fantastic tool. Document everything. Make your own spreadsheets, guys. Go think out of the box. You've got to think more. Like I said, institutionally, I would have 9 people doing this for us. Okay, we'll be preparing all of the books and preparing all your data and giving you it's what first, second year analysts at banks do. So I think the idea is you've got to think out the box, and you've got to create some sort of admin yourself. Get all your information into a spreadsheet, get everything documented, and then you'll start to see trends. You'll start to see trends and little areas where you can improve. If you notice that maybe after lunch between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m., your hit rate has been 0. Maybe it's because you're digesting your food. So you've got to think about stuff, and you won't realize that, but it's very clear in your statistics. If you had a breakdown of your setups and your hit rates and your risk reward ratios and the days of the week, the time of the day, what you did in the day, how much sleep you had. I know it sounds ridiculous, but these are the little metrics that you need to write down if you want to make those little percentages. It is probably true that most retail traders lose money. It's a high percentage, but the bottom line is they're not really doing anything that a professional trader would do in terms of document everything, have everything there, get up early, the level of discipline. So you've got to try and simulate, unfortunately, that sort of level of attention to detail. So I would say document everything, get all your statistics there, and from there you can weed out. I know somebody that she traded about 6 different assets here in London, but her favorite asset to trade was gold. She was an Iranian lady that liked gold, to be honest. I genuinely liked it. And she traded gold, and every day she'll trade gold, and she loved it. And she always used to say to me, yeah, I think I'm up on gold. And I'd say, yeah, but every time I see it's red. She said, no, I think I'm up in gold. And only when we did her statistics at the end of the quarter, she did them quarterly, which was wrong. She should have done them weekly. She was so down on gold. And it's very, very simple. She was up on every single asset she traded, but so far down on gold, it was very, very simple. Stop trading gold. And all of a sudden, she's optimized her system. So she wouldn't have noticed that without her statistics, because again, like I said, you need third person analysis, perspective. It's like being in a bad relationship. We've all had friends that have been in bad relationships, but they don't realize it. But you realize it because you're not invested in it. And when you're trading, you're invested financially, you're invested emotionally. So you don't see the shit really. So the idea is try and get a third person perspective. That's where someone like me might help. That's where somebody like talking to in a chat group might help, but you have to be honest. And that's the thing. There's a bit of bullshit in chat rooms sometimes. And so if everyone's honest about it, then yeah, you can get called out and then you can fix it.
I love everything that you've said, and one thing I'm kind of curious too, because you've said you've worked with so many different types of people, some of them not even traders. What is like kind of the main sort of struggle or issue that you've noticed amongst most traders that have actually now turned into more profitable traders?
I think it's the pressure that they've then put on themselves. I think we were talking about, when things start to go well, most people that I've met have wanted to trade have got a current income from a job, and they want to learn to trade, and they want to get up to this equivalent income of their job, slowly reduce their current job, trade as for a full-time living. And then they want more and more and more. And the pressure, unfortunately, when it's your only source of income, can get to a lot of people. So this is one of the issues that a lot of people are trading. They get into a good position, they got a system, they're implementing it well. And then when it starts to go well, they start to make purchases, they start to buy things, they start to buy liabilities, not assets. And it goes up and up and up. And then there's a snowball effect of talking about it. I used to never talk to anybody close to me about how trading was going, because I felt the moment you start to talk to people about how trading is going, and during COVID, it happened to me. My partner at the time during COVID, she saw my screens because they were up in the house, and she saw a profitable trade. And thereafter, every single day, she's asking me how much money I made today. So it was just an unnecessary pressure. And so I'd probably say a lot of people that do well, that manage to make the conversion and get to a good position, their downfall is then essentially splashing it too much, talking about it too much. And the idea is this should be a very sort of, I don't want to say a dark thing, but it should just be a back of the, emotions here. We're not talking about it. We're not shouting about it. And then every now and then you put £500,000 down on a deposit for a house. Or you do something like that. And that's kind of how you show how you're doing well, rather than talking about it often, because you'll end up putting pressure on yourself. And I've seen it happen. I've seen people talking about which watch they're going to buy next month. And I've seen people talking about as simple as handbags, for instance. They're trading well. I heard you talking about handbags, for instance, a few days ago, Miriam. It's a real thing. The moment you monetize the work we're doing here, and the moment you see pips as handbags or pips as cars and so on and so forth, you don't trade objectively. You're not going from level to level. You're going from, I don't know, Louis Vuitton to Marlboro. I don't know what it is, but this happens to people. I mean, I've seen it happen to a person. She'd risked £200 on a trade. She was £700 in profit. I said to her, another £50 and that's a nice new Louis V. She started to think about a Marlboro handbag she wanted. That was £1,000. She didn't care about the market and what it was doing anymore. She just wanted to get that profit P&L to 1,000. It then dropped down. She closed out for £350. So the moment you monetize things, you don't trade objectively. It happens to a lot of people when things are going well. So I would say stay humble is what I'd try and say.
Wow, give it up for Coach Tank in the chat, guys. He is just here dropping nuggets. Like, if you guys are finding value in this, give a like in the comments here. Make sure that you're liking this stream as well, and you're subscribed, because this is not the last time we're going to be having Coach Tank on the stream. I know he is he's a busy guy. He's definitely a busy guy, taking on some clients here, but Wow, this has been amazing so far. I have so many more questions, but I know that there's going to be another giveaway as well here before we start closing down for the day. So I'm going to throw that in real quick here. So we're doing a giveaway, guys. The giveaway is going to be for 30 free resets. Okay, 30 free resets. The code word in the chat is going to be tank growth. Tank growth.
It's
All
for
right,
the
guys?
growth accounts.
For the growth accounts only, guys. Yep.
There we go with the graphic.
This is for you, Tank.
And you remember,
That
guys.
sounds- Sounds
you
like my
gotta-
other only online account.
You gotta copy the code. and
Don't
use
type
at
it in,
checkout.
guys. Don't type it in.
You don't have to type it in the chat, guys. Didn't you learn from your mistakes?
We're so excited. Tell me another firm that has a gentleman of this caliber coaching their live trade. Well, some firms don't have live traders, so I guess that's why. But yeah, tell me where else you're going to get that quality of education in such a soothing voice too. Like this dude could read the instruction manual to assemble something, and I'd listen and I'd actually pay attention to it.
Facts.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I studied in Vienna for a year. I did 1 year of my degree in Vienna, and one of my best friends there was from Minnesota. He's an American guy from Minnesota.
Minnesota area. Yeah, don't you know?
Wow.
Have some
Yeah.
family up there.
He's actually a private jet pilot now, actually in Minnesota. But
Okay.
he said the same thing. He said, actually, you know what? I've realized, Tank. You could call me a wanker to my face and it'll be absolutely fine. And I never realized that because I'd lived in England my whole life, but apparently it's a thing. Apparently it's a thing. I don't know if we're allowed to swear on here, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can swear whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we've only pissed off one person so far with our swearing. So
Yeah. Apparently has kids in the background.
yeah, it's school. Come on, or put on headphones.
Yeah, kids need to learn.
I love it.
But
Yeah,
actually,
no, it's
all right,
Good word. We just got word on the code. Apparently there was a mistake. You have to
Not
use the
my
code.
fault.
You have to use the code growth coach. Sorry guys, that's on us. It's growth coach. Sorry about that.
Growth coach.
And again, you don't have to type it in the chat. You have to copy that code and use it at checkout when you reset your growth account. No other accounts is going to work on, just the growth account. Okay, that's how it works.
Growth coach kind of sounds like an advertisement you'd see during a sports game. I'll just leave it at that.
Great coach.
Nice.
No, it's been a really interesting journey actually, because it's really good to work with live traders because it's apparent that they know how to make money. To get to that position, they know what to do. They're making money, and there's just very few changes that need to be made to kind of make it sustainable. 3 things you got to try and do. You got to have a profitable system. You need to enjoy implementing it. If you don't enjoy implementing it, find a different way, and it needs to be sustainable, and you need to be able to do it over a long period of time. What we're trying to do here is essentially create systems and create traders and put them in a position, not for the end of the month, not for the end of the week, but for an 8 to 10 year period. That's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to set foundations for a longer term trading career, really, of 8 to 10 years, rather than the end of the week, end of the month, or just trying to achieve something very short term. And I think a lot of the live traders I've worked with for the past 3 weeks, they're open to it, which is quite nice. I think it's been well received, and they're thinking hard and they're understanding, they're being realistic. And yeah, I think they're open to making it work. So I think if you've got the drive, but you're also open to a little bit of feedback, then for sure it's not all that difficult. You just need a little bit of education, a little bit of nurturing, a little bit of help, and then it kind of works. You become that 10% that's profitable, really. That's all
How much do you think your outside mentality, or what you do either to get ready for a trading day, has an effect on how you actually trade? I mean, do you notice that some of your students or some of your mentees have had to change their lifestyle in any sort of way?
Yeah, so it really depends on the individual. So there are some people that have essentially bulletproof discipline. They could have had the worst weekend, They could be going, I worked with a chap that was so robotic. His emotions did not move from the median, to the extent that after a year, I asked him how the wife was one morning. And he said he divorced her 4 months ago and nobody knew about it. So this sort of person, he was a great trader. And I probably understand why his wife left, but he was a great trader because he just showed no emotion, which meant external factors did not affect him once he stepped onto the trading floor. So it depends on how you are as an individual. For some people, they could be thinking about, I don't know, the rent payment, the mortgage payment. They could be thinking about the trip to Disneyland. They could be thinking about their kids' tuition. They could be thinking about a lot of things that maybe they're supplementing with trading. And again, it depends also on what trading is to them. For some people, trading is their full-time income. They have to trade. I mean, they have to trade. We said about not setting daily goals. Setting daily goals, profitable goals, is ridiculous. Set yourself potentially, if you have to, a monthly goal. Like you do a salary. You don't go into a job and ask them what you're going to get paid on the day. You ask them for a monthly salary. So I think the idea is think about longer term goals. So it depends what trading is to the individual. A lot of people choose to have alternative sources of income, so trading isn't too much of a stress for them, and they in turn trade better. But I would suggest what you need to do is work out yourself realistically what kind of person you are, and if external factors are affecting your trading, then you have to have a process in place. You have to do a little bit of mindfulness. You have to take some time out. You have to identify when you're trading away from your system, or if you're agitated. And the worst thing you can do is not trade. I mean, you don't trade, you don't lose money. It's simple as that. So identify if you're in a situation where you're not in the best headspace, and you can't forget about that thing, and you can't forget about this thing, and you're not going to trade objectively, don't gamble it. Just take time off. So I think getting a good headspace is really, really important. I had a student that was fantastic. She was a great engineer. She was really, really on point. But every week when we had a chat, this is a few years ago, every week we had a chat, she was failing, and she wasn't really telling me why, but I knew something was happening in the background. And to be honest, she was going through IVF, and she was onto her last egg in her body, and it was messing with her, and it was really, really affecting her. And I said to her, it's a stressful time. Take time out from charts. Take time out from trading, because don't use charts as a form of escapism, guys. It's not a healthy thing. A lot of people turn to their charts instead of Instagram or whatever it is, and they just use it as a form of escapism. It's not healthy. Trade with purpose. Trade when you're in the right frame of mind. Certainly don't pop up a chart in the middle of a bench press set. I've seen that in gyms. I've seen people starting to trade in the middle of a bench press set. So in between sets it happens. So really make sure you're in a really good headspace. And again, that's subjective from individuals, based on how they process external factors and really what trading means to them.
Placing a trade in between sets on the bench, like that's the final boss of bros right there. Like that's the head bro. Because there's no way he doesn't have like a spaghetti string like tank top and a gallon water jug. There's no fucking chance those things are not.
We have those here in London too. Don't worry.
They're everywhere. They're universal. Right now, some guy at a bench just put down his phone with YouTube on. He's like, "Is he talking about me?"
Yeah, I bloody well am. So hopefully.
By the way, guys, for people in the chat, I know they're asking for resets like crazy, and some people were not able to get one. We're gonna give away another 25 advanced reset codes here after Coach Tank leaves. He still has, I think, Coach, you have until 11:15, right?
Yeah, if that's all right. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'll be back. Apologize to us.
Saying sorry for, like, you dropping value like crazy here.
The only thing you should be sorry for is that you're not here longer. We wish that you were here, every single day, just talking us through this, because
what the fuck, man? It's not like you're a busy dude with 80 things going on and a family and all that, man. We need you 3 hours a day.
No, I mean, to be fair, I watch quite often, and there's times when I thought, you know what, I'd like to get involved actually. So no, we'll have a chat and we'll see We'll see.
You hear that, Brett?
We'll see. We'll see
Let
what we can
me
do.
get a tank in the chat here, guys. Tank. We want more tank.
Oh, now you're gonna spam it. Now you're gonna spam it.
Because actually what's interesting is also referring to psychology and referring to deviating from a system with the help of a chart. I think visual aids are so important. I do a lot of talking with students, with clients, but really showing things actually panning out visually tends to help a lot more. So for sure, at some point I'll pop on here, we'll get the charts up and we'll talk about clear experiences from a chart point of view. And it's I think it benefits greatly to see it actually visually playing out. Good moves, good trading. Bad moves, bad trading. Dick moves. It's all good to see it visually.
I love it. Well, I have one very, very important question that I need to know. I need to know from you. Are you a bull or are you a bear?
Yeah, I definitely prefer to sell the market. Yeah, I'm definitely a bear.
Yes, you got another one. Let's go.
The thing is, it's interesting because people say that you should apply yourself objectively and there shouldn't be a bias. But I think what I realized was that it's quite simple that markets tend to drop at a higher rate than they accumulate. So generally the same number of pips, the same number of points down takes less time than the same number of points up. And I'm the sort of person that likes to trade with minimal fundamentals that can affect me. So it's a very simple equation for me. The longer I'm in the market, the higher chance there is of something coming out fundamentally that may 180 my trade. Therefore, I'd rather be in the market for a short amount of time. So I'd rather get pips in a shorter amount of time. And therefore, the logic is that going short, you tend to be able to get the same amount of pips in a shorter amount of time.
Makes sense.
People sell things quicker than they accumulate. When shit hits the fan, that's why I started off in currencies actually, and I used to be a yen trader, and we used to trade a lot of yen pairs, yen crosses. And generally, when the shit hit the fan, the yen used to strengthen. Safe haven assets similar to gold back in the day. So shorting dollar yen, shorting sterling yen, shorting euro yen. It was a very simple process. So yeah, I'd rather go short. I think the whole bull market thing is something that, New York. I mean, there's a bull in New York. Yeah, there's a bull outside the stock exchange, and there's a reason for that. If you ever spoke to 60-year-old stockbroker, a trader, or an investor, they just bought shit because stuff was going up. So if anything dipped, it was buy it again. And obviously, you could only buy things as well. So I think now we've got both options at our fingertips, but do it if it's conducive to your system. Like I said, I benefit off bad news because markets move quicker when bad things happen. It's unpleasant. I was shorting sterling the whole way through Brexit. Through Brexit, the pound was getting pummeled. I was short sterling. I was making money, but the money I was making was getting devalued. It was a really fucked up situation.
That is a predicament.
But it was dropping hard and fast, and it's something that you'll probably notice also with regards to Trump. During Trump's first, I call it reign. During Trump's first reign, I was lecturing a lot of universities, and a lot of economic students wanted to understand his effects on markets, and generally, the negative effects were much stronger, much more severe than the positive effects of Trump's. So Trump was making positive effects, but they weren't as extreme over a time period. They were bigger moves, okay? S&P had the biggest growth ever under Trump, it must be said. But in terms of the extreme moves, they were to the downside at a higher rate. So me being someone that wanted to be in the market for a short amount of time, it was conducive to me to be a seller, to be a bear than a bull. So there is logic behind it. It's not,
I like that you dropped that too, because a lot for me, I'm like, I like the downside move because I always say bulls take the stairs, bears take the windows. So
Yeah,
you definitely added some.
you're siding with the Bears, which means we got to kick you off the stream here. So no, we do. Coach does have a hard stop. Coach Tank, we truly appreciate you being here. I know we will have you back. We will work it out to get you on as much as your schedule allows. We've had some fantastic guests, and you're kind of a guest. You're part of the family here, so I don't want to call you a guest, but I guess you're a guest on the stream from time to time. Boy, that was some of the best knowledge that's been dropped in many years that I've listened to. So we appreciate it. Truly would like to have you back. And yeah, we'll just wish you well for the rest of your day.
No, pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, I want to say again, guys, you're doing a great job. So keep it up. Stick to your guns as well, trading wise, and what you want to say. Don't get bullied into anything. You guys do a really good job. So. No,
I'll have you on speed dial in case Matt decides to call me names.
Yeah, I think we coaches need a weekly session with Tank.
Yeah, we'll have a little chit chat for sure.
Thanks for being on. It was amazing, like so much value dropped, and can't wait for the next one.
No, it's a pleasure, all. It's a pleasure. Take care, all. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, Coach. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And yes, Alexander, I do have to interrupt sometimes when we have to stay on target and on schedule for the stream. So we were informed he has a hard stop. I'm assuming he's going to coach one of our live traders. So guys, there's some incentive to get into live trading. Boy, Miriam, Nick, I have to reset after that because it was just so much knowledge dropped. I'm so glad we're recording this because obviously I'm a participant. I'm asking questions. I'm reading the chat, doing all that. I am going to, as soon as we're done and I sit down, I walk my dog, I do my hot girl walk after trading. I'm going to come back and watch that again because holy shit, man, that was some great knowledge there.
I was even getting lost at what to ask after, because I'm like, there's so much I want to say, there's so much I want to ask, but yeah, he's dropping so much knowledge, and you can tell, obviously you guys know by his tone, his cadence, he has been in this game long enough to have seen the different types of players, and so he's such a valuable resource. So I highly recommend, if you guys can get access to him, definitely make some sort of appointment or make sure that you get in contact with him. So yeah, take advantage.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of taking advantage, let's do another giveaway, guys. We're gonna have 25 more advanced reset codes for you guys, so you can get a free reset on any advanced accounts, right? 25 people are gonna get that. Now, I want to clarify before I drop anything here. Do not type the code into the chat here on the stream. Just simply copy the code and then go onto Tradeify on the website and purchase your reset and apply the coupon code in your cart, okay? You don't have to type it in here in the chat. Just wanted to clarify this. Only 25 people can get it. After that, it's limited, right? You're just gonna get an error message. The code for it is Advanced Tank, all in one word. So whoever the 25 fastest are, kudos to you.
Oh boy, yeah, we got to process all this, guys. Miriam, what did you take away from? What was the one thing you took away from that?
I think one of the biggest things that man, I'm trying to process that because there were so many nuggets. For me, one of the biggest things is always if there's something going on in your external life, right? It's going to bleed into your trading. And Coach Tank kind of talked about this in various ways, but he talked about the woman he was working with that was going through IVF. He was talking about certain people that just show their emotions differently, right? But at the end of the day, it's you against you, and it's the accountability that you have towards yourself. So, I actually specifically like what he said about his own experiences, with sharing his trading journey with those around him, his loved ones. And of course, we want the support from our loved ones at all times, but it can get to a point where that pressure starts to build. And so you do want to be aware of that. And it's good to have, that's why it's so important to have communities or, be on Tradeify TV and kind of join in with us, because as traders, you understand what another trader is just going through, right? And whether you've been in this for, you know, a month or several decades, you've gone through those trials and tribulations. So you know, sharing that sort of information with loved ones is you know, can be comforting, but can sometimes be difficult for someone who hasn't gone through it to understand what you're really going through. So I kind of like what he said about that, of kind of keeping it to yourself, and, you know, just learning to find that discipline.
Very true. And it's like, Miriam, you focused so much on what Coach Tank was saying. Price is now leaving your chart.
Literally, it's like I should move it down, but yeah, I mean, maybe we should have Coach Tank talk more, because he's clearly the pump indicator. Because
like
Mark
it.
has just been shooting to the upside here.
Yeah, Coach Pump has a whole new connotation to it that we don't really need to get into right now.
You went there.
Oh well.
Yeah, I already pissed somebody off for swearing, so why not just
keep
go
it going,
on?
Matt.
Congratulations to the 25 people who got the free reset on the advanced accounts. I think they're already used up. So congrats to you guys. We gave out a total of 105 free resets today. So congratulations to all 105 winners of those, I guess.
Awesome.
Market is still pumping.
Oh yeah, we're still going.
Yeah,
I
actually,
think we've made about
I need
20-point
to.
move.
I wonder how you guys do it, Miriam and Matt, because I honestly, if we go to my chart really quick, I had this like perfect bull flag setup marked out here, and I was listening to Coach Tank, and I was checking the chat. I was looking at our internal chat. Like, I could not take the trade. I missed it again, and I'm pretty pissed about it, because my entry, and yes, of course, we could now say, yeah, in hindsight, you say that, but I'll show you in the future. It doesn't matter. My entry would have been here at 618. So I'm pissed, but yeah, the value was great from Coach. I just need to make sure I can take these trades while doing all the other stuff.
Well, and that's the thing, and he talked about the adjustments, but also I would argue, okay, you miss a trade, and that would have made you some money, obviously, for a good chunk, but the knowledge that was just dropped is going to help you tomorrow. It's going to help you the day after
Very
that,
true.
the day after that. So I think it's one of the things I think it's very tempting in, especially in the prop space world, where you're trying to pass evals, you're trying to get to payouts, you're trying to do what traders do when they sign up for a prop account. And it's so tempting, I think, to like, I have to do this today, or I have to do this right now. No, it's one of the reasons, like I say, just hang back, wait for really, really nice setups. And again, if you miss a trade, that's all right. Wait for the next one. So you missed a trade because I think you have a damn good excuse for missing the trade, but you know what? We'll get them next time. And I remember I, as a reformed chaser, as I've said many times on this show, I used to have, and it was on my monitor, I had 4 monitors. It was on the one furthest to the right lower one. And it was right where I would see it when I was looking at my main chart. It was a little posted. It was up there for 4.5 years until it fell down. It just said, there will always be another trade. And that's true.
Very
you
true.
miss a trade right now, there might be one in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. Maybe there's not another one today. Guess what? There'll be one tomorrow. These things go 23
Very
hours
true.
a day. There's always, in futures, there's always going to be another trade. Better to wish you were in a trade, or better to wish you were in a trade than out of a trade. So keep that in mind, guys.
Yep, 100%. I agree.
So what did you guys? What did you take, Nick, from it then?
From Coach?
Yeah.
Same. Honestly, the same thing that you said with not talking to people about your progress and the amount of money that you're making. At least not with people that are very, very close to you, because they will start to ask continuously, and you will get that question every day, every week, every month, where they're like, hey, how are you doing? How's trading going? And we all know these memes, right? From all the people. Like there's this funny meme when the families come together at Thanksgiving, and the whole family asks the son, like, so how is your crypto trading going? And crypto is like down 67%. And he's just crying behind his mask. So yeah.
One of the things that's funny with this, though, I have a friend of mine. He's actually a guy I grew up with his dad, and he was a deacon at the church I went to for a while, and a really, really nice guy. And we'd have lunch from time to time, and he would always, he recently retired a few years ago. So he's got a good chunk in a 401k. And so when I told him I was getting into trading, and you don't really elaborate, but for most people, they're outside of their IRAs, 401ks, whatever retirement accounts they may have, they don't have a lot of exposure to to the markets in general. And so it was funny. We had lunch one day, and I had taken a really good short that morning. It was one of those days where we pulled back like almost a full percent in the afternoon, caught it almost to the tick, just let that SOB ride, made it. It was one of the better trades I had. This was like 3 years ago, one of my best trades of the year. And but the markets were down, so it was like so we sit down to lunch, and he's like, I looked at the markets, must have been kind of a tough day for you, right? This morning, right? It like didn't kind of process the active trading, especially in the future versus, market up, stock market up good, stock market down bad. And it's a whole mentality. It's one of the things I've worked with older traders before, who are, people who are retiring in their 50s and 60s and just getting into trading. Okay, up equals good, down equals bad is not always the case. You can catch a move to the downside. You can make just as much, if, as you said, more money when you're shorting as opposed to going long. It's a whole mentality that people don't understand until they get into it.
Yeah, wow, it's so true, and yeah, it just speaks to it's having communities or being around other traders who can share that sort of sentiment, because it's super important. It's not easy talking to others about your trades in general, or having a bad day, but at least another trader can sympathize. So that's something that if you guys get value from this stream every single day talking to us, we try to bring in the psychology. Obviously having Coach Tank today was a major thing, and I hope you guys got some major value from that. Again, like I said, this is not going to be the last time we have him on, so make sure that you guys are subscribed, that you like this channel, that you get notified to know that when we are having Coach Tank or other guests on here that can really speak to their experience.
Also, I think it's a good time for us hosts to all put our Twitter handles in the chat, as we like to do from time to time. So any updates on us, you will be able to find. But yeah, guys, so we're kind of wrapping it up here. So I think we'll spin it around the horn to take us home. What a great show with Coach Tank. Guys, if you missed a single second of Coach Tank, when this stream is done, rewind it or wait for it to post, get your ass back there, watch the entire thing. The knowledge that was dropped there was fantastic. It was great last week talking to traders who are in the trenches, the retail guys, all of that. And then Tank, who's worked, well, he's a trader himself, but he's worked with retail traders. He's worked with big firms, institutions, he's probably forgotten more about the markets than most of us know. So make sure you go back and watch this. Obviously, we have the wizard himself, Gandalf, coming tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. Let's spin it around the horn like Nick's spinning his fidget spinner right now, and we'll say goodbye for the day. So Nick, take us away.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for all your good questions in the chat, for the fun we have. Like, I love the humorous comments in the chat. I love that everybody's positive. I love everybody being here, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And as usual, we're gonna have the final word from our beloved Matcha Mommy.
I love how that's just like the name that we go with for the beginning and the end. But, as always, guys, it's such a pleasure to be here with you all bright and early. We're going to do this all over again tomorrow and the rest of this week. We have a great lineup for you guys. As always, though, don't forget to tell someone you love them. Go be grateful today. Show some gratitude. Hug a stranger, if that makes sense to you. Go do it. Don't be a dick for a tick. And we will see you tomorrow bright and early. We love you guys.
See ya.